I don't think my mic's muted. Doesn't matter. About to switch over anyway, so. Ugh. What the freak? All right, what's up, people? How's it going? What a wonderful sleep schedule I got going on. I have to fix it, especially because I think we're gonna have people over for the 4th of July, so probably better for me to not be waking up at 8 p.m. Oh, I forgot that's still like that. Delete. Yes. There we go. All right. Let's hope some people are fucking playing this at 5 a.m. 4 a.m. I guess. I don't think they are. T, probably, I would guess India, but that's not an option. I don't feel like the UK exports tea. I don't even think the UK's on here either. Okay, fuck. I really don't know. Malaysia. Damn it. The US? Really? What the fuck? Computers. Probably South Korea here, Italy, Switzerland, the Netherlands maybe? Or might be the US. Or Mexico. Oh no, it was already the US, right? I'm gonna guess the Netherlands. Okay, wow. Good enough, I guess. Refined petroleum. What's up, Anonymous? I would guess the US again, but it's already been that. So, Russia, maybe? Yeah. Integrated circuits, Switzerland. It might be Italy. Malaysia? God damn it. See, Menard got into a huge drama with the Thorpes and had their whole show canceled. LMAO. Yeah, I have that video saved. Also, thanks, Time Tells. No lies for the sub. I don't know who the Thorpes people are though, so I'm missing a bit of context. But what? Corn. It's got to be. It's either U.S. or Brazil. Yeah. Motor vehicle parts. Out of these, probably Italy. Yeah. Cheese, probably France. Yeah. Packaged meta, that's gotta be Brazil. Maybe it's Ecuador. I feel like it's Brazil though. Fuck, Switzerland. Oh, that makes sense. But oh, this seems better than Tradle. I do like this. I don't know if I like it better than Tradle, but yeah. Diamonds, probably Ecuador. Are you kidding me? Ireland don't got no fucking diamonds, bro. What the hell? Rigged. I'm back to the default rating. $107 billion, bunch of cars, some petroleum, rubber tires, video displays, Mexico, maybe. No. What country in Europe has this much exports and most of more cars? Korea, I don't know. Oh, maybe it's probably 10,000 kilometers. Might be fucking Korea. I feel like I've had South Korea though, and I feel like South Korea, it might be South Korea, honestly. I'm looking at this, the way I'm thinking it might actually be South Korea. Or not. Yeah, it's in between them. God damn it. Okay. If Germany has other shit than cars. Austria? Hungary, maybe? Fuck, yeah, Hungary. I should have guessed Hungary. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, it's fucking, Slovakia, isn't it? Czech? No, yeah, it's Slovakia. Benthrop is kind of infamous about being the worst family. I think Destiny pressed Ben in a debate years ago. What do you mean by the worst family? Wait, what do they make? What? Slovakia? Cars? Rubber tires? Video displays? A little bit of oil?
Cocksucking loser!
Dear.
I'm so, like... I don't know who these, I don't know who these people are, and, like, I don't know what to watch to really figure out. Careful for TOS? Oh my god. What type? I mean, it's on YouTube. A lot of foul language. It should be fine. Maybe. They talk to counterpoints? What do they talk to counterpoints about? Who the fuck are these people?
Well, what do incels like about this? Because she's sort of muscular. She's sort of manly, in my opinion.
Incels are gayer than average men, so they like their women.
True.
They also don't like natural.
What? I got ice besetting to admit his own life is pointless. So what like these people are just father-daughter streamer duo? Are they like political? The Minar Fallout step by step. Oh dear god. This is a 3-hour, I'm assuming this is a VOD, so. Oh, are they just, it's a VOD of them watching VODs. Hopefully this gives me the context I need. But I really don't know who they are, but this seems like brain rot. It is 100% brain rot. I don't know if we'll watch this whole thing or anything, but I'm just so, you know, Minar is, well, Minar is Minar. Minar is an interesting fella, and I am very interested in how deep a shit he got into with these people.
God, I really want it to work. I like the Minar guy. I really do.
I'm going to kill you.
My wife is not like that.
You shouldn't really be. You shouldn't be talking.
My fucking headphones. I need new headphones. Especially with TTS in chat. Someone donate $400 so I can get some new fancy headphones. God damn, why? Okay. We're speeding it up a little bit. Why are you telling me that it's borderless when it's not borderless? Or sorry, not fucking windowed. Okay.
Talking to me like this. You have a wife.
Hey, I'm leaving now, Grace. Remember
Bye,
this. You
fuck
ruined
you.
it.
He doesn't have his ring on.
Because
He
your
doesn't have
girl,
his ring on. Yeah.
Oh, maybe
your
she already
daughter
left you.
looks.
Do you want to talk or not talk?
Fuck you!
It is me, Manar, the one, the only.
My goat. My
Are you
goat.
ready for this challenge? Since I started my channel, guys, there's been one thing on my mind. I need to gain some value from this channel. I need any
True.
kind of value. Give me guys a second. How do I get in here?
Menar's
Where's the
got
link?
so
Where's the
much
link to
value
join?
from
Where's the link to join? There's no link to join.
From this is what he does, by the way. It's so funny to me that like most of Menar's stream is just like him going stream to stream to stream, trying to find like somewhere to join, or he'll like the first time I talked to Menar, he literally just was like in my chat, like he just spammed in my chat. Let me debate you. Let me debate you. I'm Menar. Let me debate you. Like it was not like I was not branding it as like an open call-in stream or anything. Like now, obviously, you know, my Discord is public, but like. He just like really wanted to chat.
Join.
It's in every class.
Ruby,
Minar, I'm not. This isn't an open panel. I'll send you the link in a little bit, Minar.
Bullshit. Let me in.
Right.
Come on, why not? Let's
Are
do
we not
3v3,
so
3v1, come on. None of them is gonna come debate me. None of them is gonna come debate me anywhere.
True.
Let's go!
No one's ever debated Menar
What's
before.
your
No one has
opinion, Lo?
ever reached out to debate Menar before. They're all so scared of him.
Me and you one-on-one. What's your opinion? What's your opinion? Me and you one-on-one. Lo, who would win? You feminist. I'm defending my girl, and you're defending your girl, and I want to take both girls. Whoever is winning is getting both girls tonight.
Yo, Thorpe TV has to come talk to me. Thorpe
Is this
TV
just like, is this like an intro reel or like what is this? Is the whole thing just like clips of Menar crashing out?
to come talk to me. She come, Gracie.
I'm like, if he wasn't indoctrinated by the
Come
cult
here.
of like Islam, you know, Minar, if you weren't indoctrinated by the cult of Islam, like, I think pretty much nobody really
Hi.
understands with you.
Hey, they still have me on. Whatever, man. Fuck them. Hey, what's up, guys?
First of all, I can't believe I'm having this debate. This is amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on.
I have a show right now that I'm trying to start up between 6 and 8 p.m. every day. I am going to take over the fucking internet. I'll be the brains, you be the brawn. I'll be the Christian, you be the
That's how it all
Muslim.
started
We can
with him
take over the
meeting,
world
Thorpe's in a fallout
together.
Okay.
I'm very
Or
generous.
this is I'm meeting.
I'm
You
very
know, he's saying I'm gonna have this new show. Or
very
whatever.
generous with money. You'll make a ton of money, and we'll kill it from day one if you want to come tomorrow. But you have to show up at 6. You have to leave at 8.
They're gonna take over the internet, bro. How do I get on their fucking show? What is their show even like? Or I guess it's canceled. But what was the show supposed to be? Was it supposed to be politics oriented even?
You can't be a bitch and say, I hate this guy or whatever. We'll just keep doing it until we win.
Oh, I love you guys. This is what I was waiting for.
I love hearing that.
Man, hey,
This would be great.
I'll DM you. Bye. Nice meeting you.
no way, no way, no way.
He said he's gonna pay me. I'm not.
Dominated a globe in export hold'em. Embarrassing. No true globe would ever lose. Export hold'em. Embarrassing. Embarrassing.
right now.
Sure. Seems gay. This is Hollywood, bitch.
I'm getting copyright.
Big news.
The biggest news
go.
that
The biggest news.
we've ever had.
Yeah. So, Dad, since it is your show,
Live in 3 hours, 6 p.m. 2 waiting. Let's see. Is there any chat in there?
no.
We got to hype this shit. This show is going to be fire. It's going to be the best thing. You're going to be able to tell stories, do or die. Because if this fails, we fail. Thank you very much. It's been a great trip.
Oh, no.
We love you guys. We're not doing it anymore. Like we're doing it now.
It's not going to be our career. That's what you're saying.
We need to get a job. We're gonna. This is gonna be set in stone. We're not gonna be tweaking it every 2 seconds. I'm saying I need a schedule. 6:40, 10-minute break till 6:50. Then we go 30 minutes till 7:20. 7:30 to 7:50. It was 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Perfect, right? The first chunk
He
is 40
unironically
minutes.
chose China over Russia when talking about petroleum exports. Damn.
Then it's a 10-minute break.
Nice.
The second chunk is 10 minutes.
7:30 to what?
Breaks 10, 10, 10. Okay,
Kind
and
of
at
talking about
7:50.
anything, politics, religion, I think they're going to use Menar for the low-cal star guy. What the fuck did Menar do to fall out so hard with them then? He should be pretty good for that low-cal energy. Like,
50. And I was going to make this point before, Grace.
Yeah.
I am not running your show.
Okay.
Go think about that.
wow.
All right.
See how many people are waiting. Okay. It was 2 before, right?
Yep.
The number of people waiting has increased 50% since we last checked.
It's been 5 hours of sleep a night for 2 nights straight. I'm exhausted. I do personally think he's putting way too much pressure on this. So I really hope it works. Because I don't want to be in this position anymore. Hey, honey, welcome back.
I just don't understand it. Don't you understand how important this is?
I do.
Let's just keep going because I don't care.
Why
this
are
is
they
my
like-
life or it is the end.
Are these people full-time streamers, I guess? Why, dude, this channel has 2K subscribers, dog. Why, like, what are you doing? Why are you acting like this? Is it just for, like, hype in the chat or something? Like, what are you on about? Oh my God.
Of my career, one in a long string of attempts at things. No problem.
Okay, NDR40, great question. What is the pilot episode gonna be
200%.
about? What is the pilot episode gonna be about?
It's just going to be chatting. I'm not worried. Definitely homosexuality. Got to talk with him about homosexuality.
Yes.
Definitely got to talk about black people because I saw. I would say welcome, but this is our show. Do you understand that?
Tell me, what is this channel about?
This channel is called Misunderstood. Prior to being called Misunderstood, it was called Lol Cow Rejects. Okay, so you have a man and his daughter on the internet. Are you familiar with the show? The main show is called Lol Cow Live. Drama alert, Daniel Keem invites us
Oh, I'm familiar with that show, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
on his big show. There's this whole thing about you can be on the show, but your dad can't be on the show. I went to jail. She's accosted by a lesbian. I was pretending not to be with her in a hotel that we had to pay for when we said that she didn't even have it. He realized could be dangerous because she's more talented than him. There was no contract. She texted him, I can't talk right now. We were totally isolated. Are you familiar with the Harry Potter series at all? He had an IRL event in Texas.
Okay,
We went and trolled it. This fails. I'm going to get a regular job. We're going to make it. The Lord has put us here and we are going to crush. Now we both believe in God, right?
Thank God. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to spell that. But, so I have no problem with that. Now, do you know what the term lol cow means?
Lol cow, like some kind of
LOL.
emoticon. LOL, I know LOL, yeah.
Manar, I forgot to say this at the beginning, and this is a little bit of a problem. I love that we could put a pin in it. The way I want to do the show, it's 2 hours. You can say no to this, but like let's just do it my way today. And when you can email me, call me, whatever. But I like the idea of taking a break, and then I'll have my lovely daughter come on.
Excuse me. All right, he's back. Welcome back from the break. Let's go.
Okay. Let's open this up, Gracie. Get the light in.
Sure.
Can I introduce
believe her.
somebody to the show?
Gracie. Sure, yes. Sure,
I don't think anyone's ever met my brother. That's Ben Thorpe.
Anyway, that's legit.
What the hell? I didn't know Minar even had a
You guys run a
brother.
little mini mart?
Here's some new Minar lore.
All right, Gracie, what did you say?
It's time for our next break. So
Break time.
all right. Welcome back.
Okay, when do they actually get to the Fallout? Like what? Like
I know maybe Ben is having I don't know what trouble you're having. I'm in real trouble.
Yeah, we're going to do
I
it.
really appreciate it, man. Appreciate
Hang
you.
in, and I think in about a week you'll see. Like, this is great. This is great chemistry. I have no doubt about it that this
And
is
Ben,
really well.
man, no hard feelings. You know, we might get pissed off. You might say something about Prophet Muhammad. I might say something that pisses you off.
Yeah.
You know, let bygones be bygones. I don't hold grudges. You know, like
I don't either.
I want the way they make implications about you guys. It's like you guys are vampires.
I'm
on the
looking for the
internet.
timestamp, baby.
Right.
You guys go and hunt people down to suck their blood. Suck the
No, that's a great segue. We just had a run-in with actually a Muslim guy. You might find it interesting. This guy's name is Big Patience. When we were in California, we spent 3 weeks with him. Really good friends. He thought we were going to launch his music career. And we're like, well, we do kind of more banter back and forth. And he got really pissed and really upset. You're a broke ass N-word. Fuck you.
You have no job.
What? What? Why is he like this guy got really pissed and like the dude, I wonder why he got pissed. You called him a broke ass N-word. What the fuck?
You're basically homeless. You grift off of
Maybe I don't know, maybe he did something to deserve it, but holy shit, goddamn.
the banana bungalow. You smoke weed every day and you don't have an album.
You're 32 years old, you don't got a job, you don't got a woman, you don't got kids, and you ain't never gonna get any one of those three. Who has ever paid you 1 fucking cent for your musical contributions? Who? Hey, how's your concert schedule going? You're worthless as a human being!
All right, are you done? Are you
No!
He doesn't
you
even
as a
look
musician
that
are a
upset.
worthless piece of shit! If there was a crack pipe, you'd suck it. If there was a
He looks way more triggered than the fucking musician does.
dick,
but all right.
you'd suck it. If someone wanted to fuck you in the ass, you'd bend over. If there was $5 for anything, you'd do it. You're a loser, you're desperate, you've got nothing, and you never will. Sing your fucking Barney songs, you fucking pedophile. Hey, love you, do you remember me? Hey.
1851, all right. Only 50% of biologists believe that the fact a life is a life is expected to be worth living gives us a moral reason to create it real.
Yourselves.
I'm gonna expose myself faster, Manar.
Why are bioethicists so fucked up? Why are they like what type of philosophy classes are they going to? Why are we
I'm making myself vulnerable, Manar. Manar! Manar! Don't let this pig come between us. I agree she's a slut. I agree she's disrespectful. I've just gotten used to it. And I deserve better. Nay way.
All right, we are live. I'm here with Manar, and we're waiting for Grace to call in. Where everyone.
Hey, Local, talk about yourself. Who are you? Who are you right now? Explain yourself.
I was a viewer of Grace's channel. I got roped into doing IRL with her, and I ended up running this channel because she asked me to.
I'm disgusted by these two. I'm
Isn't
disgusted by them.
I'm pretty sure I know this dude as well. I think this is a channel. I could be wrong. Isn't this channel a? There's someone in the waiting room. Oh, it's you. I'm pretty sure this channel is the one run by the a guy I've talked to before, like Red 44 Dynamic or whatever. Maybe I'm making that up. Fuck, I think I know this dude. Oh wait, maybe I don't. No, I think I'm thinking of this channel. What do you want to talk about, Localist?
What you do is come on my channel and fight them on my channel because they don't make money off of this channel. I don't know. Think about it.
So that's literally all it is. All it is just a grift. That's what the Thorpes are. The Thorpes' job is just a grift. That's literally their number one job.
True.
I think so. It's hard to tell. So what they're accusing you of, that wasn't your brother. It was a homosexual lover. That's what they're trying to say in chat, and I want you to give a chance to reply.
Guys, fuck your mother, you son of a bitch.
Kinda
Fuck you and your
really
mother.
good idea.
Fuck you. How can I be gay if I love fucking your mother, guys?
All right. Some people are giving you terrorist allegations.
You know Grace Thorpe. You know Grace Thorpe. She's one of your girls.
No, I don't have girls. I'm gay like you did. That's why I'm here. I want to ask you out. You want to do a speed date? Can we see some more push-ups?
My content, I make push-ups. You want to call it degrading?
push-ups.
I'm literally
Hey.
benefiting. You get up and do a push-up?
No, I'm not doing any push-ups. You can
Again,
do
I'll tell you. I don't think it's gonna be. Whatever. What's up, buddy?
Yo, now I'm fine. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good.
All right, so I got a bit of a little idea here. I wanted to run by you. So, my idea here is a bank protest. All right, and here's how it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's like the basic principle around it is that depositing pennies into a bank costs them way more to deposit it than they pay for people to count the money,
Sure.
than it is to pour the money, etc. $100 of pennies is 55 pounds. That's also a good thing to remember. So my idea is that, okay, well, first I'm going to explain it on an individual scale, and then I'll explain it on a mass scale. But the individual idea is that you withdraw pennies from a bank, let's say $100 worth of pennies, and then you deposit it back into the bank, right? So like let's say you go to Chase Bank, you deposit, or like you withdraw $100 of pennies or convert a $100 bill into pennies. You take that to the bank and deposit it. That costs the bank more money to deposit it than, whatever. And if enough people do that at a large enough scale, it could become a really big issue.
I mean, they would just not.
They're probably
First of all, I don't even know how many banks have $100 worth of pennies on hand. Like, I don't think I could go to my.
At least 100. People have bought Lamborghinis and pennies, and they've gone to banks and gotten you can get quite a bit of pennies from banks, and if enough people went and got pennies and then just withdraw them, and then, well, okay, so let's say you deposit $100 of pennies, then you withdraw the $100 in pennies again, and then you redeposit it, and then rinse and repeat.
I feel like they would. I think they would just stop
and
you
then
at some
if
point.
everyone's doing that, that's literally just going to cost the bank like infinite money.
I think they just would stop you at some. They just be like,
They
you're
would
not
have
allowed to.
If everyone was doing it, they would have to they would ban people from depositing certain amounts of pennies. It would become an issue.
It wouldn't surprise me if it would. If they already had policies on the book that were like, hey, you can't, you can't deposit money that you just withdrew or whatever, and can't deposit.
Well, you can go from one bank to another. You can say, hey, Chase Bank, I have $100. I need $100 of pennies. They give it to you. Then you withdraw, and then you deposit it at Bank of America.
Well, you'd have to have 2 bank accounts. Yeah, how many bank accounts are you gonna
No,
make?
you don't,
And
because
then
you can
also,
to pennies without a bank account.
as chat is pointing out, by the way, like where the coin counting is automated, so I don't even know how expensive it is for them.
Yeah,
but-
sometimes some places have coin counters, some places don't. But I feel like this could be potentially like a funny idea, like, because if it was done at a large enough scale, like this could be a real
I
like
think they're just ban
real
pennies.
problem.
But-
Yeah, but once they ban pennies, you move to nickels because
Wow.
those have like the same issue.
I mean, you could just do a bank run.
All I'm saying is it's gonna cost them more to deposit. Like it's gonna cost them more to deposit the pennies than labor than you're depositing the like. It's gonna cost them more to than they're gonna make from it. And if enough people do it enough times, like I think you can see how that could be a bit of a problem.
If you can organize that, couldn't you just organize a bank run? Couldn't you just organize people taking all their money out of banks? The bank would just
Not
fail.
necessarily, because it'd have to be done at such a large scale, and that's so hard to achieve. But the penny thing, it's like anyone can just go withdraw $100 in pennies and deposit it and rinse and repeat
Anyone
that.
can withdraw their
If
money
you do
from
that
a bank.
scale, if you do it at a mass scale, like the banks are just gonna start losing money, and it's like the perfect idea for a bank protest.
They would just
because they're just gonna be losing money.
They would literally just stop accepting the physical cash or coin deposits.
But even to get to that point, like it's fucking hilarious. Like
What would the point? What would the point of this be again? We're just doing it for fun.
to make the banks lose money, just for fun.
Okay.
Just to make the bank lose money on the deposits and
Listen,
like
you
make
should
it.
look
Oh, because
into the
because if an
Richard
employee
Werner guy.
has to count the pennies in hand, and let's say you deposit $1,000 of pennies, well, not only is it going to take them a lot to count, that's hard to store. $100 of pennies, 55 pounds. If you do $1,000, that's fucking 55 or whatever. I don't know. Scale that.
I
Whatever.
mean, it's hard to store, but clearly they're
Yeah,
already
it's
storing.
impossible to
If you're taking the money out from a bank, that means a bank had the pennies beforehand anyway. But
I don't know. All I'm saying is that if we just keep spamming withdrawal, deposit, and if everyone does it, like,
true.
Perfect idea.
I mean, you should just. I think
We just
semi-related. I think
bully the banks. Dude,
I think you would
imagine just imagine your local bank. Like, imagine if 15 of you guys just came in with buckets of pennies all at once. All of you guys came in with
I think they would just tell you to leave.
hundreds of dollars and hundreds of pounds of pennies.
They probably just tell you to
They
leave.
have to count it all. They would have to
They would
store
just
it
say,
all.
"We're not doing that."
If they can't store it, I believe they send it to the Fed too. So, you could fuck with the Fed too, because then, all these banks are having to have so many pennies, they have to send them to the Fed, and then the Fed's fucking. You're gonna have issues too.
How are they gonna have issues?
It's such a simple idea that could cause so much fucking chaos and disruption. It's just brilliant.
True. Listen, I think you should look into Richard Werner. Okay, this is only semi-related, but he's a big endogenous money person, and he's also a localist. He talks about all the time how he thinks that we should have more local banks instead of big banks, and he wants banks to be all locally controlled. But
I'm not sure how I feel about that, but
you don't want local banks. You want local everything else. What, do economies of scale only work for banks?
I mean, my principles are very simple: local self-sufficiency for primary needs and local control of government to the greatest extent feasible. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, wouldn't that? I mean,
you can apply that
presumably
so
you want
easily to.
you wouldn't want
It's
local communities to have a self-sufficient bank. You don't want the.
But would it be self-sufficient though? Then that's the thing is, you could have all these a trillion weak banks that could collapse and there's no backup.
What? It's almost like you make that argument for food too, and literally every other local thing. But
Food's a different thing because you fucking rely on food for your survival, and if you're not relying on it from yourself, you're relying on somebody else. And the basic idea is that you're relying on employers for your food. Eventually, there won't be enough employers to have people just won't be able to eat unless there is welfare, and then that's where your UBI fucking idea comes
based.
in.
Oh my god. Let's just
do
welfare.
Too heavy.
Let's just do welfare. Based.
Yeah, no.
Based.
Because,
oh my god, so based. Oh my god.
Like,
let's go,
dude. Like, if you really consider like mass UBI, like if you believe in that. The only reason you believe in that is because you haven't fucking thought it through. You haven't thought through the nuances. You haven't thought through the negatives. You haven't thought through anything because there's no way that you can believe in that. While also acknowledging the negatives. The positives are not on the side.
There's no way you can believe in UBI without what?
Yeah, no. Without... UBI, the basic idea of UBI is that people rely on their needs from the employers, and if we don't have the employers, but the root cause is the employer reliance. So once we separate the employer reliance, then that essentially solves the issue itself.
But by separate the employer reliance, you mean, hold on, just to be clear, you mean like 50% of the economy is now agricultural. 50% of people work in agriculture. That's what you mean by separate the employer reliance. I don't know what you mean. Like, clearly there are like trade-offs, and it just seems like the trade-offs are overwhelmingly negative for making everyone grow their own food. I understand not literally everyone, but a ton of people grow their own food, getting rid of all the gains from specialization, getting rid of all the gains from economies of scale, just because you want people to have some self-sufficiency. Like,
yeah, but guess what, dude? AI and fucking robotics are more efficient than people. Whoa,
that's
totally.
What do you mean? That fits into my argument. I don't know what's the.
No, it fits into my argument.
Okay.
But the penny idea, genius idea, brilliant, needs to be done. We need to make it a trend. Non-fun. If you do this, you're gonna go viral. And if we do this, we're gonna go viral.
I love the big banks. I love big banks so much. Oh my god, I love the bailout too. Oh my god.
You versus the banks in the end, non-fun. I always knew it would be this way.
Okay.
But do not I don't know, man. You can't rely on central anything. It's just no, you can't rely on something.
That's so true.
Like, dude, do you not value independence at all? Like, do you you're total?
It's not that I value independence, and I don't value independence intrinsically. I value independence instrumentally.
That's terrible.
I don't think that's terrible.
That is terrible.
But I think if you value independence intrinsically, that would entail like there'd be cases where and you admit to you admit to this, like you would rather a society be more independent but have people die more often than a society be less independent but people die less often. You have literally said you would rather kill 800 million people to return to the same level of state independence of the early Union than not kill 800 million people and have the level of subsidiarity that we have today.
Listen, as long as they're not Americans, not in my backyard, not my problem. You know what I'm saying? So if India has to sink for America to be my my localist utopia, bye India, don't need you.
How many Americans would you kill for it?
All the country, all the Democrats.
Wow, based.
Because they deserve it. They deserve to go first. Because they're the ones voting on the welfare. They're the ones voting on the UBI. They're the ones voting on the demand for the welfare from the immigrants. They're the ones.
Oh my God, that's so true. That's so true, buddy.
They're really, the Democrats are really creating a lot of problems here.
Immigrants don't consume more welfare than the native-born population.
If only we could get rid of the Democrats and have a utopia. Not fine. It's almost as if you suggested that. To kill all the Democrats to have my utopia. Perfect solution. I don't know why.
I just think clearly that would not be a net utility maximizing. The point of the hypothetical is that if you value independence intrinsically, that would imply obviously you would be okay with sacrificing a lot of utility to get more independence, and I just think that's silly.
Yeah. Well. I don't know. Like, listen, man, you intrinsically value fucking GDP maxing. You
That's
intrinsically
not true. Hold
value
on. You know that's not true. You know that's not
economic
true.
efficiency, like a little
I don't
libertarian.
intrinsically value economic efficiency. I don't know why you think that. I've never said that ever.
You do over independence, at least.
I no, because I don't value independence intrinsically either. What I
Ridiculous.
value is intrinsically is utility, is positive qualia, is positive experiences, and I happen to believe that economic efficiency in free markets in liberal societies, those tend to have positive effects on utility, but I don't value them intrinsically. Like, I don't value GDP intrinsically. I just happen to believe that, GDP is just a measure of,
it's
how
it's a
society is
reflector
basically. But
of whatever you value. I don't know, man. It just like. Also, GDP factors in a bunch of bullshit besides actually productive labor and productive value. It adds in all fucking. I mean, I don't know exactly how GDP is done, but I'm sure it is.
Right, but it has bullshit, but I can't tell you what it is.
It's too vague. There's too much in it.
What do you mean it's too vague? What does that mean?
I don't know. It encompasses too much. Like, it's including too much.
What does GDP include that it shouldn't include?
Like, if I were to if I were to sell you a hand job for $100, that would be calculated into the GDP, but it's not actually producing any value.
It's a service. What do you mean you're not producing any value? I mean, first of all, that actually probably would technically be included in GDP just because it'd be an illegal transaction that wouldn't actually be recorded anywhere.
Track value because you good from it? No, it's not. So same as fucking buying a little hand job from a little.
Wait, what? Sorry. Wait.
Like, if you were to smoke crack, that's not fucking good. Like,
well, smoking it isn't. Hold on. I think you're confusing. I don't know why you're confusing externalities. You're trying to bring externalities into it now. Obviously, there are cases where there are externalities where a transaction that's included in GDP could benefit GDP, but could have negative effects elsewhere. Like, that's possible. Obviously, polluting a river because a factory produces stuff. That's an externality. Like, GDP could conceivably go up, but there's negative effects in the environment. But selling me a hand job, I don't know what externalities you would say.
That's not providing any tangible society. Like, that's not providing any tangible value to society. You can say, yeah, it's providing
do you think a haircut is providing any tangible value to society?
Yeah.
What value is a haircut providing that a hand job isn't?
Because if you get a haircut, it affects the way that you're perceived in society. If you have very trashy hair, then you're gonna be perceived as an attractive person. If you have very clean cut hair all the time, then
why do you want to be perceived as an attractive person? Doesn't it all just boil down to utility? Like, you want to be happier, so that's why you get a haircut.
No, that's not what it boils down to. There's more. There's much more. There's much more, dude. The idea of identity and fucking competing with people and social status that pre
but you're all doing that because you think
that's innate in humans. That's not
the reason you get a haircut is you think it has some positive impact on your life. You're expecting it to, at least, and that's the same reason that you get a hand job. You expect the hand job to provide you some positive experience.
Yeah, but that could be the same thing. Like, you could say
it's the same thing. It's the same thing with a roller coaster. To be clear, you can look at economics textbook, by the way.
Subjective mental pleasure is not fucking value.
What do you mean it's not value? Of course it's value. I don't know what you mean. Obviously, a roller coaster. Hold on. What does a roller coaster provide that a hand job doesn't? Do you think roller coasters should be included in GDP? No, roller coasters shouldn't be included in GDP. Okay.
Well, yes, I think they should be calculated in GDP, but it's just that I don't see GDP as important.
Why do you think it's okay to include roller coasters but not a hand job?
They're both nonsense, man. Come on.
Okay, hold on. If they're both nonsense, why are you okay with a roller coaster being included in GDP, but you're not included with a hand job being included?
Because
in GDP?
GDP is it's a specific I'm not saying that it shouldn't be calculated in the GDP. I'm just saying that the GDP is not important. You're making it out as if it's more important.
Seems like you're trying to
you're inflating
shift
the value of
conversation.
GDP.
But hold on, the reason you said it wasn't important is because you thought
It's
it
not something
included
to value.
you thought it included too much bullshit, and then now you're
it's 'cause
like
it's not
walking back from that claim and
valuable.
trying to say that
There's nothing intrinsically valuable in GDP. Now you can
I
say
agree.
that
I
there
agree.
are
There's nothing
inclusions
intrinsic valuable in
that are
GDP.
valuable, and that having a higher GDP would reflect that what that's doing better. But
what do you think is a better measure than GDP? What do you want? What do you want to look at instead?
I just don't think it's a good way to measure the success of the economy, right? I
think GDP is like, you might not consider the success of the economy important, but I think GDP is clearly one of the best metrics to measure the success of the economy. I don't know what
the
else you would
issue
look at.
is that the economy is only measured materialistically, right? It has a total disregard.
Well, hold on. So you might have, like I said, you might have issues with. You might not view the economy as like important because you think it's all materialism, consumer bullcrap,
totally
or whatever.
anti-human.
But GDP is still the best way to measure the economy for the most part. Unless you again, what else do you want to use? What metric would you prefer using?
Okay, so when you say to measure the economy, that's just so vague. It's like you have to be more precise when you say stuff.
I mean, I agree that's a vague term, but that's what you said. Like it is vague, but that's the term you use, right? You said it's not.
It's just
good.
unimportant. It's not something that's valuable. There's
so
no
what do you think
value.
is valuable? Just name name something you think is valuable.
Independence, independence.
Okay.
Because yes, we can't I don't know how you. The labor market's going to be gone, dude. The labor market's going to be gone. The school system has been mass producing wage laborers. Everyone who went to my school is going to college, getting a job. Everyone from every school in the entire fucking country, because it's federally fucking, usurped. Everyone in the entire country is becoming a mass. Everyone's becoming a wage laborer.
Oh my
and
god,
that's been going on for decades.
Oh my god, it's so based.
So. You not know supply and demand, buddy. There's enough demand for the supply of the labor right now, but when
I am familiar with supply and demand. I think you're a lot less familiar with supply and demand.
Apply this concept to the fucking labor market. It's fucking simple.
I hate to break it. I do that. I'm familiar with supply and demand. I'm familiar with how
to supply of labor. How do you not get that? We have hyper supply of labor.
We have a hyper supply of labor.
Of course.
What does that even mean?
Every fucking person in this country is a wage slave.
That's absolutely not. So number one, that's not true. About half the country doesn't work, especially because we have an aging population. Our population is aging. The working age population in the U.S. has decreased since COVID. It's clearly not a hyper supply. I don't know what you mean.
Of course, there's a hyper supply. The entire school is being done to produce en masse wage laborers who are hyper dependent.
That doesn't
on their
make
jobs.
it. First of all, I don't know what I would really like you to be more clear than hyper supply. I don't know what that. That's not at all a clear term. That's not a term that you're gonna see in any textbook.
The supply is artificially being hyperinflated by government policy and by the school system that you're forced into since you're 5 years old until
I don't
you're
think that
18.
Hold on.
And that's been everybody in this fucking country, and that there's just going to be too many people wanting jobs for the amount of jobs that there's going to be in 20 years, and that right now it's fine.
So if you're concerned, and we've had a little bit of this conversation before, it's if you're concerned with automation, that has nothing to do with hyper supply. That's just that the supply of jobs is going to, or the demand for jobs rather is going to decrease because of automation. But
there's not going to be enough jobs for the amount of people that need them.
That's a demand. That's a demand issue because firms are going to automate.
Yeah, they're going to automate, and then there's not going to be people working there, and then they're not going to be able to get their wage, which they drove for their fucking basic survival, because we set up this wage-dependent society, this hyper-wage-dependent society, where no one can produce anything at all.
Okay, how do you think about half of people in the U.S. don't work right now? How do you think they live?
On other people who do. Women,
That's
dude.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Who do you think the half of them are? Children?
Mostly children, disabled people, and elderly people.
Yeah, and women.
Well,
pretty much.
I mean, most women work nowadays.
that's half of the fucking population as is.
But you understand, we have already, my point is just that we've already created systems to solve this problem. One, even within the market, right? Like, people will provide for their family. So, like, conceivably, so if automation happens, productivity is going to go up, and the wages of workers who are still remaining are going to go up as well. And so that means they might have more money to provide for their, family who isn't working, who have been displaced by automation. But obviously outside of the market, we have welfare system. We've already like solved this problem. For people who don't work, they get government benefits.
Welfare, really?
No.
What do you think welfare is, man?
I think.
What do you think it is?
I think it's
you rely on money to
benefits.
survive, and if you don't have money, you're gonna need money to supply, like to fucking, you're gonna need money to survive. And so because people can't, we can't have a society where people either work or starve because that's gonna cause chaos. People are gonna protest that. There's gonna be issues with that.
Your society is equally. Hold on, your society is equally
the only
worker.
way
No, localist. Your society is equally worker starved. You just want everyone to do their own work to grow their own food. Like, what do you mean?
Well, ideally, we automate the fucking farms and we have local automated production, which I don't know why you're so against. You're so because
I think that again, we've had we've had this conversation before. To the extent that there is value in local farms or whatever, the market will supply them. But to the extent that centralized farms are more efficient, to the extent that there are economies of scale and consumers benefit from cheap food that's grown all over around the world, during all seasons, the market will supply that type of food. And I think it can
be done just as cheap here. It can be done it doesn't have to.
Hold on. Why is it not done here then? If you're again, why don't you start a company? If you think you can outcompete all these,
because I don't have fucking billions of dollars to.
Why is no one else doing that? If you think that people could easily be out competing,
it just takes a while to scale, man. They're the only reason.
So now economies of scale are real. What?
This is the only reason we don't have this is because the infrastructure is not there yet. It's the inevitable because.
What do you mean? We have you just told me growing food can be.
We don't have the infrastructure for every local community to sustain itself from an indoor farm.
Why do you think local community?
Once we do.
Now you're on indoor farming, and again, I agree that technology for indoor farming doesn't exist yet. It can't be deployed at scale at the very least. But once it is competitive on the market, it will be supplied.
But there's something to value in self-sufficiency over dependence, and it's something that
and again, you've never answered this question to me too. How on earth, how are you ever going to enforce this local society thing? Would you literally have the government ban centralized farms? I don't think you've ever given a satisfactory answer to this question.
No, because I don't impose things from the bottom. I'm not trying to impose things.
So right now, but right now, this is what I would say is that consumer preferences are already being met by the market, right? If you're not imposing this upon people somehow from a top down, you're just going to end up in the same situation where consumers say, hey, I don't want to grow my own food. I want to buy food from a centralized farm that is more efficient. And we're going to be back at centralized farming.
I don't want my municipality to grow the food so I can have it for free. I would like to pay for it from Walmart, so it's grown in Mexico. So I have to get my wage job.
That's the revealed preference of consumers. I don't know what you mean. They want food. They don't think the opportunity.
A manifestation of lack of consumer choice. That could be.
What do you mean lack of consumer? Anyone can go buy from a local farm if they want to. If there was demand to buy stuff from local farms, people would be starting local farms. Investors would say, people want this. I can make a ton of money by investing in this. And again, there are just a big reason why this doesn't happen. There are gains from economies of scale. The total average cost fall when one big farm produces stuff compared to many small farms.
The only reason that the big farms out compete the small farms is because of cost. If it was the same price, people would buy from the local ones. And if it was cheaper, people would buy from the local ones. It has nothing to do with it.
Cheap. Okay.
It's cheap.
But you understand, the reason costs are down for big farms is that's
'Cause the
like
scale.
that's the
Oh,
fundamental point. The economies of scale. Yes, like that is
No,
the.
but yeah, yes, but the same
So
indoor
wait,
farm
do you agree that local farms are never going to be the same price as big farm? Well, at least without this like indoor farming technology, which again, once that exists, the market will supply it.
Not necessarily, because like.
Okay.
Well, because here's why: is because you only have to supply for a limited demand. You know, when you're supplying on a mass scale, you have to, like it's.
I don't. Nothing you said just makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to translate it into English.
Okay.
I don't know, but dude, you just don't get it, man. You just don't get it.
Do you agree that like there's an opportunity cost for individuals growing food, and for most Americans, it's just like not worth it to do that?
No. Well,
no.
Sometimes.
Hold on. Do you agree with the first part, that there is an opportunity cost for individuals growing their own food?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay.
So like, yes, but like it's way more nuanced than like the simple way that you're putting it.
I don't think that's true. You get. I
You're
don't see how there could
oversimplifying
be
it
that much
to a
nuance.
drastic degree.
Like there either is an opportunity cost to growing your own food, or there isn't. I don't really see how there's much nuance there, and the answer is obviously yes. But okay.
Dude, I'm not suggesting that everyone grows their own food, because we want.
I understand you don't mean literally everyone, but you want way more people to work in agriculture.
Not necessarily. No, not really.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about automated farms, so that
which don't exist yet. Which, to be clear, that they don't exist yet, and you would still want local communities to have local farms, even without automation.
They do exist.
They're not
in America,
cost
they're
competitive.
They are competitive in other countries.
Also, hold on, wait. Also, automation exists to a way greater extent on centralized farms. Like there are tractors, which have like GPS systems in them, and just like we'll go through the field entirely like on their own. Like we have like self-driving tractors. Like automation in the farming industry already exists to a lot of extent. It's just and there are still increasing returns to scale in automated facility. Like it's more efficient to build, one tractor. You can spread your fixed cost out more if you build one GPS automated tractor than it is to build 5 of them on 5 small farms. Like,
I'm not saying to completely get rid of centralized farming. Obviously, like I'm just saying to increase local production, man. Like it doesn't have to be one or the other. We can.
But again, I think that to the extent that local production is cost competitive and consumers demand it, they will. That will be supplied.
What's cheaper, growing your own tomatoes or buying them? Growing
for opportunity cost. Hold on, for if you're considering opportunity cost, it is almost always.
Tomato could have been slaving away your little wage job. You could have made $15, which is all money's fake, obviously, as we all know.
That's true, actually. I didn't consider that.
Yeah, you don't consider that now.
If it is cheaper to grow your own food, well, why aren't like 10x the number of Americans growing their own food right now? Like, why are they all like retards? Like what do you think they're doing?
Well, I'll tell you about in my neighborhood. I live in a neighborhood we all live on.
Okay, so I'm not going to get an answer to my question, am I? The obvious question, the obvious answer is opportunity cost. But all right.
No.
Okay.
There's a cost of not producing for your own needs, and it's called being totally dependent on other people. And once you can't become dependent on the other people, then you're stranded.
Have you ever heard of
specialization
daddy government from trade?
Your sky daddy. Your
also,
sky
just
daddy
a real quick to reply to chat. Navon, why don't you advocate for banning centralized meat farming? I don't know how I actually would feel about like banning meat. I don't know, but
dude,
I think you should subsidize lab-grown meat.
That's the thing, is that you of all people should understand that there is a cost, an external cost outside of being most efficient of farming fucking animals.
I don't know why you're pretending like
you a
I
fan
don't
of
know what
mass-producing chickens?
externalities.
Are you a fan
I don't know why you're pretending like I don't know externalities exist. I obviously agree externalities do exist.
But there's a cost of, treating animals completely inhumanely and like fucking products in order
Again,
to
I don't know why are you pretending like I don't know externalities exist? I agree externalities exist and the government should correct them. I don't know why you pretend like I don't know that.
The issue that the meat farms have, it's a issue of scale. They're trying to do the lowest cost, highest efficiency, and it's coming at the cost of the animals' welfare and well-being.
I don't know why you keep repeating yourself when I have already said, yes, I'm familiar with negative externalities. I'm aware. I understand.
Yeah. And you should understand more than anyone that locally, sustainably, and ethically sourced meat, it's going to be more expensive than your cheap fucking $2 a pound beef.
Well, I mean,
there's some more value in ethically raising animals than to have the cheapest fucking steak.
Again, I don't like how many times do I need to tell you I'm familiar with externalities, but okay.
Right, but do you understand that there's a value in ethically sourcing than to have the cheapest fucking thing, and that consumers don't fucking care because they just want the cheapest thing because they're all poor.
True.
Because they all don't have money.
I don't know.
So of course they're gonna go for the cheapest option. They're of course they're not.
Hold on, no, you don't think they're going for the cheapest option. Wait, Localist, you literally do not think they're going for the cheapest option because you repeat all the time it is cheaper to grow your own food.
It is.
Okay, so you acknowledge you don't think American consumers are going for the cheapest option because most don't grow their own food.
That's not consuming. That's producing. It's different.
What they would consume the food that they produce, dumbass.
It's cheaper to fucking. It's cheaper to produce the tomatoes that you consume than they consume other people's tomatoes. I don't know why that's so hard
okay.
to grasp.
So yes, hold on. I understand that's what you believe. That's why I'm saying you literally.
I believe.
You literally do not think the words that you just said. You just told me that you believe consumers always go for the cheaper option, but you literally don't believe that because most consumers don't grow their own food, consume their own food, yet you think it's so much cheaper to do so.
And why do you think that is it because it's more expensive, or is it because it takes a lot of time, energy, and
whoa! Now opportunity cost is real. Opportunity cost is real. Oh my god, that's crazy. You're telling me the time and energy for them to learn how to grow food and do it themselves isn't worth it for them because they can rely on other people to do it because opportunity cost is a thing and there are gains for specialization and it oh my god, what? That's crazy. Oh my god, I've never considered this, man. You should write an economics textbook about that one, dog.
Yeah, that's not it.
Okay.
It's gonna take them effort, and people will always go towards the path of least resistance. It's gonna take less resistance to go to your job and buy the little tomatoes than to grow the tomatoes. It's as simple as that. People are always gonna go for the easiest thing.
I mean, I agree. I think consumers are exercising a rational choice. It is worth it to them to go to the grocery store and buy this food.
So are all the people who grow their own tomatoes making an irrational choice?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Hold on. No. Not necessarily if they enjoy doing it. I understand that you don't think.
Not about the enjoyment.
Hold on. You don't think. I understand. You don't think human experiences are valuable, Mr. Hand jobs and roller coasters should be included in GDP. But I do think positive human experiences are valuable, and they're not. If you enjoy doing something, you're obviously not necessarily making an irrational choice to do it.
Positive human experience are valuable, but everyone must work their 8-hour-a-day job for 5 days a week.
I just believe that what tends to maximize positive human experiences is a capitalist system in which most people are working 8 hours a day. But
you don't value human well-being. You value capital over human well-being.
Localist. Can you repeat the last sentence I said to you?
No.
What? Sorry? Did you say no?
No, I can't.
Yeah, it's obvious because you weren't listening. Again, I don't value capitalism. I value human well-being. And I just think that human well-being is typically maximized by a capitalist system in which, yes, a lot of people are working 8 hours a day. I actually think it's not most people working 8 hours a day anymore. I think average working hours are
so
less
if
than that,
human
but-
well-being was better through my system than yours, would you
I think
Would you
I
concede?
agree.
Well, no. What I was gonna say is that if my system created more human well-being at the expense of economic production, would you be able to concede to that? As long as I was able to.
Well, yeah, but like you're obviously,
it's better for human well-being.
yes, obviously, but economic production is obviously, I think, an important factor in human well-being. But like I
course it
totally
is.
agree. Like there I'm sure there are cases that we can come up with where I would sacrifice $1 GDP to make some people more happy. I just think that, like, generally speaking, like economic production is the thing that increases the quality of life, right? But
Oh, really? So in a current system, what's the rate of depression, by chance, and the rate of obesity and the mental health issue?
Again, but what's the rate of starvation? Like we clearly have a much better society than we did 100 years ago in terms of any metric of life expectancy.
Way more happy. People were way more happy.
Well, number one, I don't think that we can actually say that. I think a lot of it's just that we've started diagnosing.
I can say that, and I can fucking guarantee that, and I can guarantee that people in the 90s
how can
were
you?
happier
There's
than
no way
people
that
now.
there's no way you can guarantee that. People when?
Of course, of course you can.
Hold on.
Look at a
when,
video of
people
people in
when
high school
were.
in the 90s. Everyone's smiling, everyone's happy, everyone's upbeat.
True. This is a great way to base your opinion. Let's just look at videos from the time period of people in high school. But look again. So a lot of it is just that we started diagnosing depression before. Like no one in the 1800s was diagnosed with. That is part of it. Yes.
It's because the left hand. It's because the. You
literally don't disagree with this because you will acknowledge that no one was diagnosed with depression in the 1700s. I don't want to say literally no one, but very few.
People in the 1990s were diagnosed with depression. People were less depressed in the
even in the 1990s. I don't think we had the same system, but you obviously acknowledge that people in 1800s,
are so
1700s
depressed
weren't.
Now. I don't you don't see it. You don't exist. Are you are you just in?
I think again, a lot of it just has to do with diagnosis. I actually think you make an argument that are standard or not. I'm not a psychologist and I want to comment on this too much, but I actually think you definitely could make an argument that the standards for getting diagnosed with ADHD and depression are too low right now. It does seem like that. It's a reasonable position, at least.
The rate of undiagnosed depression is higher now.
The rate of undiagnosed depression? What?
Higher now than it was before. Does that fucking is that gonna satisfy?
I don't think it
your wordplay.
I don't.
You're saying diagnosed. That's be diagnosed. Okay, let's take away the diagnosis.
I'm not saying that they have to be diagnosed. I don't know. I don't know where you got that from. I'm just.
People are more depressed now than they are then. I don't know how you can't accept that. I don't know how you can't see that.
I don't know. I don't know if I would. Well, it depends on the time. It depends on
young guy.
So it depends on. It depends on the time period. But I think overall quality. I think overall quality. I would bet that people are more depressed now than they were in 1990. But I think overall quality of life has gone up still.
A lot more, and people are more fat. The obesity rate's going up. Addiction.
So the reason, but again, a big reason why the obesity rate is going up is just because food is so much cheaper and more plentiful. But
no,
okay, that's good to know.
No, it's not. It's because people are more sedentary than they are because of computers and phones and things like that.
I don't entirely disagree with that as well, but I think computers and phones also clearly. I think computers and phones obviously also represent an increase in quality of life on net, but.
Really, I think,
or at the very least, there's a revealed there's a revealed preference there that people prefer to be fat but on their computer than not fat and not on their computer, right? But
yeah. Oh, those people are making a smart consumer choice, choosing obesity over fitness, aren't they?
I'm just saying there's a revealed preference, but
It's not a preference. People don't prefer to be fat than skinny. It's just it's easier to be fat than it is to be skinny. Just as it is easier.
What do
to
you think?
go to your grocery
Localist. Localist. I don't
Easier.
know. I don't understand how your brain cannot comprehend this. I agree. It is easier. It is easier to be fat. What I'm saying is there's a revealed preference in that people prefer an easy but fat life where they're on the computer compared to a harder but less fat life. That is what I'm saying. There's a revealed preference there.
People prefer easy, cheap, path of less resistance. Fucking physics. We all know this, right? People don't value the right things. People don't value the right things.
I don't know how you're like.
People don't value the right things in their own life. People don't value the right things in their consumer choices. People don't value the right things in any sort of choices.
I don't know why you're the arbiter. I don't know why you're the arbiter of what consumers should value in their choices. But okay, like
because I'm smarter than the average consumer now. I'm like
that's
you.
True, actually, that's true.
You just try to understand them. I try to outsmart them. See, that's the difference between us and fun.
Right.
So it makes a localist versus a liberal, a neoliberal. But yeah, there's I don't know, man. It's just the world's fucked up, and you keep trying to make it more fucked up. I keep trying to save society. You keep trying to push back. And you know, you're a young guy. I was like you when at a certain point I was all.
Are you like
you're
like 3 years? You're like 3 years old.
Economic production.
Okay,
opportunity cost. Efficiency.
True.
No regulation. Maximize efficiency. Make most.
I don't know when I ever said no regulation or anything, but okay.
Right, but libertarians are for deregulation because it increases economic productivity.
That's not the only reason, but again, well, it depends on what type of.
Oh yeah, and non-aggression principle too. Yeah.
Right. So like there are libertarians who care about property rights, and the reason that they are against regulation is because they think it violates property rights. But there are also utilitarian libertarians who are against regulation because they don't think it maximizes human happiness.
Which there's also Republicans who believe that, and I'm sure there's plenty of Democrats who also believe that.
Yeah, I agree, and I think
they're wrong.
But well, I think you can argue that regulations.
They're right sometimes, but they are wrong other times.
I mean, I think you can argue, obviously, that
that's not the all be all because deregulation's not the end all be all. The libertarians make it as if it is.
True,
and it's not. And just as you make productivity the end all be all, you don't care about
localist. I understand. I don't understand why you repeatedly strawman me when you know my position. You know I don't value productivity or economic production intrinsically. You know that. So stop lying about it.
But you do but like you rely. I guess the way to say this is like you value the benefits of hyperdependence than you do the virtues of self-sufficiency, and that's disastrous.
I value net utility over.
I mean, you can say it however you want.
That's the only thing I value intrinsically. I would say so. Like, I don't value, self-sufficiently intrinsically. And I think self-sufficiency has negative trade-offs on utility because of things like economies of scale.
And I'm totally.
Why don't you advocate only rich and upper middle class to have kids while propagandizing casual dating and contraception for rest at non-420? I don't know what. I'm just reading.
Successful economy when the birth rate's fucking 2.1.
Hold on, I'm
when
reading
under the agrarian system you could have 15 kids because you know what? When
I think a big reason people are having less kids is because the opportunity cost of having kids is so high now because they can earn so much in wages. But
that's it. Yes, it's because when you have an agrarian society where people
where people are poor, where people are poor and they need their children to be farm workers.
No. When you have a wage job, the kids are a strain. They're just draining money. Like they're not producing enough for themselves to consume. They're a drain. When you have a farm, they're able to produce for their own consumption and end up becoming a benefit. Because they produce more than they can.
I understand and I agree. I agree with you. A big reason the birth rates are higher in like the agrarian times is because the opportunity cost of having kids was not high. People could not go get high paying jobs, because the agrarian societies were so poor. And 2, because
Oh, really? So poor.
children could be workers immediately. You didn't need human capital to go be a worker. And nowadays, in order to be a productive worker, you need 12 years of education, or even more if you go to college or whatever.
Education.
That's true. Well, you know, I do think
man.
I do think a lot of education isn't actually human capital. It's just signaling. But
It's almost as if education's, trying to create laborers, and it's not actually towards it's not towards educating people and making them.
Well, it's giving
them skills to actually, and that's
I mean, I think a decent amount of education is giving people skills that they need in a workplace. But I think a lot of it is also just signaling to employers that, you're decently smart and like can wake up in the morning, things like that. But
but you can't wake up faster than a robot, and you're not smarter than a robot, and you can't work more hours than a robot. And then once the robots are gone, there goes your wage, and then there goes your food, and then there goes your house, and then there goes your ability to fucking support your kids and to exist as a human being. That's why we need to reduce. That's why we need to reduce the wage dependence.
Do you agree that as
you just want to replace wage dependence with welfare dependence?
Do you agree that as average productivity goes up, the average wage rate goes up as well?
Say that again. I
Do you agree that as productivity goes up, the wage rate goes up as well?
No.
Okay.
Of course not. Dude, have you ever seen a fucking chart of that?
Yeah, and I'm familiar with all the reasons why that chart is wrong. Are you familiar with any of the reasons why that chart is wrong?
What are you gonna say? Because the new tools that humans are using?
No. So number one, depending on what version of the chart that you're looking at, they're using 2 different deflators. So the productivity line is deflated with GDP deflator. That's a pretty low measure of inflation, whereas the wages line is deflated with CPI, which is the highest measure of inflation. So that's a big reason for the divergence right there, or a decent reason for the divergence right there. But the bigger issue is that they're comparing all employees' productivities to only a subset of workers' wages. So they're comparing the entire productivity of the economy while only looking at a subset of production and non-supervisory employees. That's obviously stupid because higher productivity people get paid more in wages. So if you look at productivity for the whole economy, but look at the people earning the lowest wage, obviously there's going to be divergence there because as people go up in productivity, they get paid higher wages. And if you compare, the whole economy to the whole economy, as in, actually look at productivity compared to wages for the whole economy, you don't see that same divergence.
You're seriously trying to debunk the idea that productivity.
Hold on. Do you have a response to anything I just said? Do you have a response to anything I just said, or are you just like gonna repeat that? Was anything I just said wrong?
I didn't even fucking think about it because you're just like a half info dumping a little. It's too much. Like you're saying inputs faster than a man can receive the inputs.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. You have a very good understanding of what I said.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, I'm strong opinions on union.
But productivity is going up.
Hold on, wait. Can you admit that? Can you at least admit that you don't know enough about that chart then to say whether it's right or wrong?
I know enough to know that it can't just be debunked and like say, "Oh, this is actually wrong and it's actually a miscalculation." And that's
do you agree that yes or no? The original version of that chart used 2 different deflators.
I don't know what the specific chart that you're talking about, but I know
the chart that you referenced.
With productivity, and that you needed less productivity to make the same or to make.
Do you
more money
agree? Yes or no? That chart, the chart that you referenced, compared all workers' productivities to a subset of workers' wages.
I don't fucking know. I didn't.
Okay. So do you admit then that you don't know enough about the chart to know whether it's right or not?
I don't even know if we're talking about the same chart. I don't fucking know.
Send me the chart you're talking about then, buddy.
I'll have to find it.
Right. So it is going to be the chart. It is going to be the chart that I'm talking about. But okay.
Listen, all it has is like wages is like kind of stagnant and productivity is going up.
Do you think the way I'm talking about this chart right now maybe gives you an indication that I do know the chart that you're talking about? Do you think like I've demonstrated that I clearly know the claim that you're making?
Dude, but like you're acting
I know exactly. You're gonna cite depending on what you look up exactly. The first thing that's gonna come up in the thing you're gonna send me is gonna be the EPI chart, the Economic Policy Institute chart.
Like the thing that the chart proves is not just proven through the chart; it's demonstrated in reality. You know, it's demonstrated like it's directly like you can see it. It's not.
What do you mean?
Something that's just measured through a chart.
Where can I see it? Point me to where I can see this, please.
That you used to be able to, on like a high school diploma with like
That's
one
so true, buddy.
wage, be able to support a whole family, and then now you can't.
The issue is
People are way more
localist. I have
productive
data.
now.
I have data that debunks this.
Wages aren't
but like
outpacing the fucking production.
I have data that
How
debunks
would
this.
the
I can
wages
show you.
fucking keep up with the production? That's not even possible. That's literally impossible.
How would wages keep up with production? That's not possible. I don't know what you mean.
Like, how would wages increase at the same rate of productive capacity? It's not
as workers' productivity. So as average productivity goes up, so there's kind of there's an upper bound and like lower bound. I think the Sweatshop's book actually did a good job.
Actually, no, wait, hold on.
So hold on, real quick. The upper bound of compensation is determined by a worker's average productivity, or by a worker's productivity, right? So a company's never going to pay a worker more than it costs to hire him, right? Like you're only going to pay the worker as much as it to the extent at which you profit from hiring them, right? You're not going to lose money by hiring someone. You're not going to choose to do that. But the lower bound of compensation is determined by basically the next best alternative for a worker, right? So that's more closely tied to the average productivity for the whole economy.
I have a really good example.
So obviously, obviously, as productivity goes up, both the upper and lower bound for compensation increase.
Okay, so let's say the invention of the computer and the adoption of it into the in the workplace makes you 5 times as productive. Do you think your wage is going to increase 5 times? No, it's
might not be. It's not. It might. So it's probably not going to be exactly 5 times. It's not going to be. It's not going to be. Is it localist? Localist. Hold on, localist. Just number one. Do you think economists have never localist? Do you think economists have not considered that?
Yeah, they have considered it. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, obviously, there's a response to that, right? So it is what I just explained to you. Obviously, because the lower bound of productivity is set by average productivity, like not just your own personal productivity, and there's also cost to like training workers and everything. So workers are almost never going to capture 100% of their marginal product. Typically, workers capture about like 85% of their marginal product. It's like not 100% because workers don't have, there are cases of monopsony as well where workers don't have other opportunities and firms can suppress wages a little bit. But, that's not obviously that doesn't debunk. Hold on, look, you understand that doesn't debunk the idea that wages are largely determined by productivity. And I can show you again. You're not going to accept any of it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that.
So we agree. Okay.
No, we don't.
Right.
We don't.
I thought you were disputing. You were saying you were localist. You were disputing localist. You literally localist. You literally.
Productive. Are you going to get paid 3 times as much? No, you're not. Probably
I never. Hold on, localist. I just responded to that. Are you retarded? I don't know why you went back to that immediately.
It's fucking pretty. Yeah, but do you agree with what I'm saying? It's pretty basic.
Yes, because if you listened at all, I just said workers never capture 100% of their marginal product. I don't know about never, but like rarely capture 100% of their marginal product.
Listen, man, I'm not here to listen. I'm here to talk. I can
tell. I can tell, buddy. Yeah, nice one. Okay.
I can't process and think at the same time, man.
I can tell you can't process anything I say, or you never think about anything. Hold on, wait, localist. Do you? That's so true. I don't have the
Jewish IQ, I don't have the Ashkenazi IQ of him.
Do you? I don't even think it's Ashkenazi. I think he's a Iraqi Jew, but regardless.
Whatever he is, he has a higher IQ. Just simply
he has a much higher IQ.
Simply by being Jewish.
Than you, I would say.
Because
I don't think it has much to do with being
the
Jewish.
Native
I think
American,
it's
that kind of drags me down.
true.
You know, a little bit of German, a little bit of European.
Hold on, look,
or
let's,
no, no.
well, can you
Little bit
at
German,
least
little bit
admit that you
American.
don't know enough about this to say whether or not wages have kept up with productivity?
I know enough to know what I have fucking said, and you can't disprove what I said, which is that. Well, like you can start.
I
dancing
don't know how you think I.
Well, it's actually because the calculations are done wrong. Actually, if you calculate it this way, then they're actually.
It's not. I mean, they're not really. Well, it's kind of because the calculations are done wrong, but it's just because again they're comparing only some workers' wages to all workers' productivity, and the issue is, you know, they're basically excluding the most productive workers from the wage calculation or the wage line, but not excluding them from the productivity line. It's a chart of wage inequality mostly. And the EPI, if you read some of their blog posts, will say this. They will say that you are wrong. So if I if I go to dig that up for you, will you concede that you're wrong? Like, you're not going to.
I'll never concede. I'm always right, not fun.
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
you know?
Like, I can send you, there's a good chart that the EPI has, the same people that made this, that my chart have. And they show you most of it is just a decline in, or it's an increase in wage inequality. Because they're comparing all workers' productivities to some workers' wages. iPad I was calling from died. Okay. Oh, that was fun, localist. What a fun time, as it always is, having the same exact conversation that I've had with localists 10 different times. See the Nordic wage compression study? Yeah. Is this the same one that there was Twitter discourse about earlier? I saw the one he sent in econ stuff, and I've seen I don't know, is this the same one that I saw on Twitter like a few months ago? I met him an intellectual heavyweight and a strong master debater. I don't know, buddy. Seems like you, what the hell, just cannot track a conversation very well when it has anything to do with economics. All right, really, I mean, you know, anything to do with anything, but. Anyway, Grand Designs. I saw you had questions, but I didn't answer all of them. Supply chain risk lessons from Hezbollah's pager explosion. What this is about? Why do I care about this?
I'm sure everybody would like to see it. Especially all the gay people in chat.
Come on, your prophet fucked a child. Answer that.
Hey,
Bro, let's go. Getting to the best conversation already. Yes. Dude, what's funny is I know Manar has heard this 100 times before, but I don't even know if he's any better equipped. What's up, James Shepard? Oh no, Manar is the master debater. I know. Never lost a debate. Always wins.
This guy out, I'm leaving.
Address it.
I gave him 7 hours of my time right now. I'm at 6 hours of streaming. I gave him 6 hours of my time.
What's
And
in return? Does your wife know you're gay?
the only thing you've been saying the whole time is that I'm gay. If they didn't make allegations that I'm gay, you couldn't say anything today. You wouldn't even be on the stream right now, you son of a bitch.
Oh, it triggers him so much.
Okay, are you gonna bring on Grace or you want me to just leave right now so I can kill your channel?
I'm texting her right now. I think they're taking a break from the stream, but I'll text her and try to get her here. Can you wait like 5 minutes?
Fuck you, lol cow. Fuck you if you want to talk to me like that. You know what? You can go fuck yourself. You bring her on right now, you son of a bitch.
I just texted her. I'm waiting for the reply.
Shut the fuck up! Either she's coming or don't talk. I don't want to hear your.
Why is he so triggered? What the fuck? Oh, you made a poll that no one voted in, Localist. Nice one.
Fucking voice, you son of a bitch. Fucking bitch. You're the #1 Grace simp, aren't you? You're the number one Grace simp, aren't you? Now you can open your mouth. You can talk. I'm asking you a question. You're the #1 Grace simp, aren't you?
No.
Didn't you put the Thor's poop on your face once?
No.
You despicable. Hey, you shit smearer. You literal shit smearer. The guy is smearing shit all over his face, and I'm supposed to get upset because you guys are calling me gay?
Do you want to talk or not talk?
Fuck you! You son of a bitch!
This one goes out to Minar. Together. In some ways, we're both.
What the hell happened to get him so triggered? Lava, why are you not concerned with the fact that concentrated product in industrial heat farm results in bigger risk to supply chain? Oh, do you mean meat farms? So we should have more smaller farms distributed around? Again, it's just a question of concentrated product in industrial meat farm result in bigger risk to supply chain. I'm not necessarily that. It depends on what you're talking about. I'm not actually convinced that's the case, because I do think. By the way, one of the good things about like globalization and everything, and about even domestically, having I want the meat supply chain to collapse, so that's fine. Well, there's that as well, but being able to respond to crises by like COVID by like swapping your supply chains to another country that's not under lockdown during that specific time, right? Like that's a big benefit. Like for all the criticisms that supply chain COVID revealed all the fragile whatever. It's like at the same time, domestically, if we have like one factory in the U.S. producing baby formula and that factory experiences the disruption, and you can't import baby formula from other countries because of tariffs and trade restrictions, there's a benefit to having a supply chain be globalized in that way. And at any point in time where there's a crisis in, Europe still has Greenland. Fuck, I forgot about that. You can easily find a country that is not under lockdown at that specific point in time. I think I'll just wait until I have the UK. Huge big industrial farm, as in huge amount of animals living in a small plate. Well, I don't like meat to begin with. I think that's why you asked me about banning meat earlier anyway, but yeah, viruses which make government impose euthanasia on animals around. Yeah, I agree. I think like obviously in my ideal society there'd be no meat production. Well, there'd be no like lab grown meat production, right? Like I'm okay with meat production if there's no like sentient beings involved, obviously. But I agree. I just think it's kind of a I don't have a strong opinion on like how soon should the federal government like ban meat products? Like I just don't know how. Obviously there'd be no way to effectively do that in the U.S. right now, just because 99% of people eat meat and love eating meat. But so being vegan has nothing to do with animal suffering. Sounds good. Me being vegan has everything to do with animal suffering. I don't know where you got the opposite impression from. Do you agree we should abolish Social Security and redirect the money towards covering opportunity costs for parents? I don't know if I would say privatizing Social Security could be good in my opinion. I don't know necessarily if we should redirect it towards covering opportunity costs for parents. Maybe. Data shows that an increase in government-provided old age pensions is strongly correlated with a reduction in fertility. What type of model is considered defining? We explored a question using 2 models of fertility. Blah, 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 blah. In the Barrow and Beggar model, parents have children because they perceive their children's lives as a contribution to their own. In the Baldwin and Jones framework, parents procreate because the children care about their old parents' utility and thus provide them with old age transfers. The effective increases in government-provided pensions and fertility in the Barrow and Becker model is very small and inconsistent with the empirical findings. The effect of fertility In the Bolden James model, sizable and accounts for between 55 and 65% of observed Europe, U.S. fertility differences, both across countries and across time, and over 80% of the observed variation seen in a broad cross-section of countries. Another key factor of fertility in the Bolden James model is the access to capital markets, which can account for the other half of the observed changes in fertility. I mean, I've seen kind of conflicting stuff. I need to do more reading on it someday about like how many elderly people would actually be in poverty without whether it's Social Security or Medicaid, any type of government transfer program. I don't know. I've seen some people say it's a lot, but I also have seen Cato stuff that says it's actually not that much, and most retirees would be fine without government transfers. I mean, if it is the case that most retirees would be fine without government transfers, then fuck it. Maybe we increase the birth rate. But I do also think there's like there's a case to be made for long termism. So I guess you could I guess even if we see a decent amount of poverty in elderly people, would we cut government benefits if we greatly increase the fertility rate by doing so? Obviously long term, the human rights could be much better for that. What's in the big beautiful bill? I don't know. I can't keep up with everything during all the Senate negotiations. My understanding, it's a lot of stuff that cuts taxes and/or extends the Tax Cuts and the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. And then there's also some spending cuts. Now, I think there's been some of the spending cuts have been kind of ping-ponged in the House and Senate. So I don't actually know the current status of a lot of those things. But I think the Senate bill has more Medicaid cuts. I think they were estimating, the CBO estimated that the Senate version of the bill would have like 11 million people off of Medicaid compared to the House version of the bill. Only having like 10 million people kicked off only 10 million people kicked off Medicaid. I don't know. And then like tax for green energy and a subsidy for coal. I saw the solar. Like I said, I have not kept up with every single provision that's added and unadded, but there was a new tax for like solar panels, and I think a lot of the IRA subsidies are repealed in the bill as well. But again, that could have changed. I just remember reading the Cato's blog about it, the good, bad, and I don't think it was the good, bad, and ugly. I think it was I forget the title of the blog, but there was a Cato blog about it, and they were like, oh, one of the good things the bill does is get rid of IRA subsidies. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't seem particularly good to me, but I understand why Cato is saying that.
Romantic experiences. Although he literally has a close relationship with his brother. To the end of the road, it's unnatural, like gay butt sex. I need to fuck you in the pussy right now! Grace does this thing with her face where she makes herself very shiny. Is this the end of the makeup job?
Thank you for clarifying.
Kind of greasy. Okay, so we talked yesterday about presenting graphical information.
I know.
What I want you to do is set up a schedule. Do you feel like you can do anything at this point, or do you need more information? Okay, so I don't think you understood what I was saying.
So I have the revised whiteboard.
What sort of timeline? Is it weeks, months, or years before we can produce this?
Because you didn't say 12 to 2.
What did I originally say?
I'm sure you did make it clear, but
okay. Great. And Grace, I want to ask you.
I'm so confused. So Menard just yelled. Menard just yelled at some dude to talk to her, but then he didn't get to talk to her. I think we can replace Social Security with a small universal payment to old people and private annuity markets, so based. That would cover the poverty concerns. Yeah. Not a fun answer, please. What did I not answer? What did I miss? Why you not actively advocate subsidies, contraceptives, sex ed, family planning for poor and middle class to prevent mass welfare expansion due to automated world that will appear? I don't know what your question means. Why do you not advocate subsidies, contraceptive, sex ed, family planning for poor middle class families to prevent mass welfare expansion? First of all, I want mass welfare expansion. I don't know where we're mass welfare extension might go a little far, but I have no issue with welfare. I probably would just want to replace a lot of the welfare we have with cash transfers instead of the sort of in-kind benefits for a lot of things. But as welfare expansion due to the automated world that will appear. I don't know. I don't. Are you just saying why don't I want to increase the birth rate? Like Menard got triggered by the way Grace dresses. Well, that makes sense. That is something Menard would do. Subsidized sex ed. I'm in favor of doing. Like, I want public schools to teach sex ed. Contraceptives, family planning. I don't think I have issues with doing that. Like, I don't know how effective just like subsidizing fucking condoms is, but sex ed, lol. Y'all don't know how to fuck. Ask your mother. Destroyed. Localist destroyed again.
You sick slut. Answer! Do I owe you anything? Can you say I owe you anything? So that's where we're at. Our career is
Subsidize
over, by
Israel
the way,
now.
if this guy doesn't pull it
Abolish Social Security. Send the money to Israel.
through.
No, there he is, the man himself. Welcome.
No, yeah, it is my show tonight. This is my show. Ben, this is my show, Ben. I'm going to prove it to you tonight. This is my show.
Sure.
I'm going to show you, Ben. Today, guys, we're going to expose the torch, guys.
Yeah, that's great. That's no problem.
So I want to know,
Oh,
there's an actual clip circulating of you offering...
You see the Haaretz article about the war crimes probe during the aid distributions? I believe so. I didn't read it, but if that's the one you're talking about, I have seen it.
Grace.
Yeah.
A bottle of beer between your legs. You're a despicable person. Your daughter's stupid. I told her to make a sandwich and then I made a burrito. This dumb bitch. Offense to it. She's so stupid. Like,
Well,
how can you
burrito's
talk
not
to
really a
somebody like that?
sandwich.
Your daughter's fat. What am I supposed to do?
You got to give me like one question, not like 10,000.
Okay, again,
I think I'm at the, Benny Moore's position. I think his article is good about it. I think it's still, dehumanization and genocide. It's a good one. Genocide may yet occur, as this war, he argued, like, Israel's not committing a genocide, but may yet occur because they, like, Israel's, like, continuously dehumanize Palestinians in the West Bank. There's still the occupation, obviously, and, I think he calls it, there was ethnic cleansing happening today in parts of the West Bank. He talks about Trump and the transfer of Palestinians that he endorsed, basically, but Target starving out to Palestinians who achieve Hamas's defeat is now common coin. The food trucks are now going to the strip again, but for 2 months, starting in mid-March, the Israeli government stopped deliveries to the Gaza Strip. No food trucks, water, or electricity entered the strip. Some Israelis protested, but not many. Genocide in West Bank occurs? I don't think there's a good argument for that, but okay.
I am the king debater. I proved it here. Nobody
My
can win this
position
debate
is that
against me.
genocide is silly semantics. I mean, I agree. It seems weird that, that's the... I don't know. To me, it feels like academics kind of just started using that term for Israel-Palestine because they wanted to, they wanted to be emotionally grabbing or whatever. And, like, that has just become the thing to debate everything. And we can clearly look at the number of civilian casualties and similar number. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like, I don't know why we're... I also don't know. Obviously, semantics meant for a hypersensitive leftist to circle jerk too. True. I also I don't follow the war super closely, so like I am open to my mind being changed or something. But like, I just like really don't see like since like Israel took the Philadelphia corridor, have they like achieved anything meaningful? And like that was like like 8 months ago or something, they took the Philadelphia corridor. Israel, or it's not Philadelphia corridor. It's and it's just Philadelphia or whatever the fuck. Israel's unilateral. In May 2024, Israel took control of Rafah. So it's like literally a full year ago now. Like, I generally just don't really like Israel. I want a U.S. dictator in that country. Make Israel a state based. Why not look at the amount of urbanized area which has been rendered uninhabitable? and food production chain being heavily damaged. I mean, I don't think those are unreasonable things to look at. I don't know what you mean, but I don't even like, have they, I could be wrong, I don't know. I just have not seen anything meaningful Israel has done, like, since going all the way south to Gaza, because they, you know, for the most part moved north to south, right? They cleared out Gaza first, and then, you know, eventually got to Rafah, then eventually got to the Philadelphia corridor. I just like, I just don't know if they've done anything meaningful since then. Same people who are telling us cannabis is bad are saying things are just conspiracy theories. I don't know what you mean by that, Twerp God.
Me, especially not your ugly daughter. And fat to add. Who's more entertaining?
Bro,
Who's more
base
entertaining?
Badar.
Me or this fat slob? Who do you guys want to watch more of? You want to watch more of me or this fat slob, guys?
Dude, this is what Minar does, by the way, especially when he gets upset. Is he'll just talk to your chat. He'll be like, everyone in your chat right now knows that I'm winning, and everyone in your chat right now is going to come to my stream. Who do you want to watch? What, like, this is what Minar does. Oh, it's so funny.
Tell me, these guys are not even monetized. Guys are not monetized.
I want to see Minar versus Haas. Dude, they go fucking hard.
I'll full screen.
Mr. Ben was young. Give him about 25, 26. Had very bad parents. His parents stepped on his head. He became an insecure little bitch, like a rat. You know what a rat lives? That rat lives within, deep, in very tight areas and dark holes. That's the rat. There was a rat that spawned because his brothers used to step on his head. When he grew a little bit of girls gave him attention. This stupid fuck believed. So the first woman that showed up, he couldn't believe it. You got all your DD working. That means this guy is not trustworthy. This guy will have no future. He became a rat within him. Any party I go to, any club setting I make out, any party I want to go to, I would be. Have you ever been going to a bar with 15.5-inch arms? Have you ever been to a bar with 15? You think I don't see what's happening from outside, where these girls are touching on the dude's fucking muscle? Imagine I was a party goer, guys. You think some girl's gonna see somebody walking around with these? Like,
maybe if you're strapped with a tactical vest with like dynamite on it,
God, I would fuck all your daughters in the chat.
Otherwise, I think it's
I would fuck all the daughters. You know, she's wearing the slutty clothes. Put her
wife?
on.
Your wife?
Hey, Minar has told that to me before. I think he said my sister or my mom. Based.
How many hits of the crack does she have to take every time she fucks you?
By the way, I do not have any sisters, which is funny. But
your wife?
Your wife?
No, we do all natural. She's just glad to be away from you.
So this fucking son of a bitch, he thinks my wife would look even at his face. He thinks this ugly fucking.
No, I turn her right around. She does not get to look at me. I turn her right around.
He thinks my wife
I
would
take her from the back.
Guys, compare me and him.
If she's being
compare me and him. No, if Grace shows up. This is my problem, man.
You're afraid of a girl? You're afraid of a girl? What kind of Muslim are you? You're afraid of a girl appearing?
Man, look,
Fuck you, dude.
if she appears,
cry, bitch.
I'm leaving. Hey, Grace.
Cry,
Grace, remember you ruined this for your dad. I'm leaving now, Grace. Remember this. You ruined this for your.
What do you think of this? Paranoia seems to be built into Israeli society to a degree that a leash is necessary. At least meaning U.S. control. U.S. control might be a little harsh or whatever, but like, I don't know. I would agree. I do think. You know, there is paranoia in Israeli society. There is just people do not value Palestinian lives enough in Israeli society. Sample Texas, mentioned this study before, where it's like, there's like a study that of how many Palestinians would you kill to save like one Israeli life, and like the maximum was like 999. The mode answer, so the answer chosen the most is 999. like it is crazy. And like the median it's like 998 or something. It's crazy. It's like yeah. And like I do think like the fact like this seems like most Israelis just like wouldn't care if they just don't let anything into Gaza. They don't let any humanitarian aid into Gaza, and fucking let the population die just so they can, get rid of Hamas as well. But Israelis are super racist. Racist is the harsh term, but yeah, I don't know if I would always disagree with that, but.
Your dad.
Goodbye.
You ruined this for your dad, you stupid bitch. You stupid, ugly whore. You ruined this for your dad.
Go cry.
Hey, Thorpe.
Yeah.
Remember, I am the fucker of your daughters. Remember that, you son of a bitch. Go fuck yourself, you fucking bitch. You fat slob. You're done. You're done. Your life is done. You're gonna die soon. You can't even breathe. Your life is over. Go smoke your crack
Look,
pipe.
you didn't die.
Go
You didn't
smoke
die.
my crack pipe.
You
My
didn't
viewership
die.
is gonna keep climbing. I'm gonna keep debating. I'm gonna get Destiny soon.
I'm sure you're
Grace,
going to.
remember, you ruined this for
You're
your
gonna
dad.
get
Go fuck
Destiny
yourself,
soon.
you fucking whore.
It's not hard to get Destiny now. Now that he's doing like TikTok debates and like anyone can just come up and request him.
Some people, what can you do?
Ben, great
Hi, Grace.
idea staking your
I'm
career
gonna
on that.
watch some of that from his recent TikTok thing, by the way, just because it's funny. I recognize one of the people in it, but
Okay, fries in the bag.
I'm still 100%. I'm still 100%.
Please don't punch my daddy. My daddy. Guys, go fuck yourself, you fucking fat slobby whore. Look, her content is to watch me, guys. That's her content right now. It's to watch me.
why is he saying that as if he doesn't just watch people's streams all the time? What do you mean, Minar? What the fuck? Minar is poor? I don't know if Minar is poor. You know who is poor? Me. And you can fix that with some Prime subs. Let's get some YouTube members in here. Let's get some kick subs. What is this boring game? This is an awesome game. This is ICBM Escalation. I know an IDF Catboy who goes instantly super hawkish. If any country around Israel does anything, he wants to massive military intervention. Based. Oh, what's up, Sample Text? Are your ports for capitalism? Based. I'm a temporarily embarrassed billionaire, okay?
Buddy.
I'm the one that's gonna talk to you. You come on my show.
God damn, turn your
You
mic down.
little slimy snail. I'm not gonna come on your show.
What do you want to say?
You're coming to me.
Just say.
You're talking to me, billionaire, little bro.
Okay, hey, I'm leaving. If you don't allow me to talk to Grace, I'm leaving.
Oh, you're leaving your own stream?
Yeah,
Okay.
But I simply don't understand why you're mad at my dad. I'm the one who called you gay. He said I shouldn't have done that afterwards.
Gracie, this was your
Non-fun
plot.
goods should engage in welfare fraud. Why should I do that?
Plot was
Sample test is
to
gay
take
for
over.
pay.
Have me.
I bet. I've never asked him, but I bet if you paid him enough, he probably would be.
He's talking with you guys. Then you started allegations about me calling me gay nar. Then you made deep fake.
I don't think
I mean,
she
he
called
would
you.
presumably he would have to say so because like you could donate that money to the shrimp welfare project, and it's like, obviously like you should, suck a dick to save like 1 million shrimp or something. So.
I didn't call you gay, Nard. The chat
You're
did.
literally. Yeah. Okay, keep the energy. Don't. Hey, Grace, don't lose the energy, Grace. Grace, don't lose the energy.
I maintain that I think you're kind of zesty. I don't think.
Honor. I have honor. This guy said something about my wife yesterday on his shoulders. He never apologized to it unless I smack him in the face or he begs for my forgiveness.
Does Sample Tech support a one-time wealth tax? I don't know. I think we were actually talking about that in my server yesterday. I don't know if he was there for that though.
Manar, let me just tell you what happened, okay? Yesterday I was doing a show. I don't actually want to do my own show, like you said, because he left. Ruby is just spamming in his chat, Gaynar. Okay, he's back in VC.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, hey, I got a show to run. What the fuck do you want?
Hey, I was wondering if I could talk to you for a minute.
No, Ben, I don't talk to bastards and bastards.
Well, you said if I
apologize. Pieces of shit.
You said if you
apologize for my wife.
Okay, I'll apologize.
Apologize.
Okay, I'll apologize.
Go ahead.
Do you know what apology means? Do you know what the word apology means? That may be a cultural.
Yeah,
that
you
may
think
be.
it's bantering with somebody say your wife was sitting on my shoulders. I calmed her down because you're so gay. Yeah, and
I would never have said. I would never have said any of those things seriously.
Ben, I'm leaving.
Go, you fucking faggot. What are you? Oh, feces is unclean. It's fun. Feces is unclean.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's back.
You son of a bitch! You made allegations about me being gay. Made deep.
I did not. And
you started cracking jokes about my wife being
Why
intimate
is
with you.
he
You son of a
so
bitch.
triggered? Has no one ever called Minar gay before? Does he think they're like actual allegations of him being gay or something? What the fuck? Why are you even watching? Just because I know Minar and it's funny to see him talking to people. But I was just curious what the new Minar lore was.
I think that's a joke. Unless I smack
You said it was a joke. You said it was a joke.
Unless you beg for my forgiveness.
I'm leaving to go to work and then sleep. I'm so fucking tired. L.
You said I was cracking a joke. I never fucking asked forgiveness for cracking a joke. Fuck you and your fucking camel. Fuck you and your fucking loser lifestyle. Fuck you and your bullhead stupid religion. Fuck
wealth tax. He has I don't know, there's an interesting argument for it. I forget what the exact rationale is, but
you and your stupid Pokemon brother. Fuck you and your wife and your mother and your father and everyone ever associated with you. You take offense at cracking a joke? You're a bitch.
You son of a
You can't. No way. If I was cracking a joke and you knew I was cracking a joke, only a fucking camel fucker loser would demand a fucking apology. Let me beg. I'll beg. I'll get on my fucking knees. Here you go, you little cocksucker. I'm so sorry. You can't take a fucking joke that you acknowledge to be a joke. You cocksucking loser. Please forgive me that your fucking soul is so weak. You're so
Not fun. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I support actively pursuing reducing population by propagandizing childlessness for poor and middle class, subsidized birth control, subsidized family planning, and automation embracing. Then we can have more money per each welfare recipient. I mean, obviously, with a higher population, you can just do more things. Like per capita income does not necessarily decrease with a, larger population. Like,
such a loser that you're shattered by a fucking joke that you know is a joke. Please, how much do I have to do? How long do I have to suck your cock for until you get over it? Name it.
My response here, what is this? In many models, economic growth is driven by people discovering new ideas. These models typically assume either constant or growing population. However, in high-income countries today, fertility is already below its replacement rate. Women having fewer than 2 children on average. It is a distinct possibility that global population will decline rather than stabilize in the long run. In standard models, this has profound implications. Rather than continued exponential growth, living standards stagnate for a population that vanishes. Moreover, even the optimal allocation can get trapped in this outcome if there are delays in implementing optimal policy. Damn. Yeah, exactly. Like, and there's actually increasing returns to discovering new ideas with a higher population, right? Nicholas Decker has a article about this. This is an interesting one. There's a paragraph I'm looking for. Imagine a job which requires no training, in which there are no improvements over time. Someone in the first day in a job which is just as well as someone in the 20th year, because each person is capable of any other. Cost of finding workers close to zero. A rise in population results in no change in per capita income. Each person would enter the job and produce the same as anyone who worked there a long time. Other jobs require more specialization. Imagine a software engineer. In order to be employed, they need companies to make considerable investments into identifying possible roles. In order for the companies to invest in finding possible roles, they need for there to be many people who have invested in specialized skills. If we assume that having more people and more jobs makes it easier to find a job, the industry will either converge to the optimal level or do nothing at all, depending on the number of people. The idea here is essentially Diamond's from his 1982 paper, Aggregate Demand, Management and Search Equilibrium, Externalities, and Search Costs mean that the total number of people with those skills matter, and the total size of the population also matters. So what will be the effect of immigration and wages? We must distinguish between short-run and long-run effects, which may be completely different from each other. It is unfortunate that our studies are best able to detect short-run effects if the number of jobs if the number of jobs are the result of investment, which were made in the past. A surge in immigration would lead to a fall in wages in the short run. If the job is specialized, though, in the long run, there would be more jobs and higher wages. Oh, yeah. An idea produces a lot more benefit when there's a billion people than when there are a million people, since ideas require a fixed cost to invent. They basically have no marginal cost to be used by more people. You get far more ideas with more people. And this does not even include a possibility of ideas being randomly generated. Like, yeah. Think welfare is a fixed amount that's divided by population, granted signs and joy. Yeah, like, I don't know why. Lump of welfare fallacy.
He ran again. All right, so
that was Ben's B2 bomber.
This is the plane we use. The B2 bomber's been around for decades. These are a marvel of science. They were able to actually do something that the Israeli military has been wanting to do for decades. And I mean, this totally succeeded. And so I call this a success. Hopefully it pans out that way.
I don't know what Minar thinks about that. I don't actually know, because Minar is like super pro-Trump, but like he is also super anti-Israel. So like I don't know which one wins out here, because he does like Trump. He likes Trump's foreign policy generally. I'm super curious which force wins out in the Iran strike.
So anyways, we're trusting the plan. Subscribe if you want more news like this. Like the video if you liked it. Comment down below what your thoughts are. This is really a time capsule in history. So anyways, I'll see you all in the next one. Adios.
Grace, what I love about this is I think we're doing the Lord's work here. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to do it. I'm really happy to serve the Lord in this way. And I may be wrong that this is what we're supposed to do, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I'm not flattered by this picture.
Minar, how are you?
Hello. What's up, guys?
Hey, I'm so glad to be here again with you.
What are we gonna do?
It depends which way you're looking at it. But yeah, everything he says.
How would you look at it?
She slept with over 1,000 people.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to interrupt, but
Your daughters will never be
I can
prosecuted.
see we can't do this.
Your daughter, miniskirt on. She looked like a whore.
Why did they fall out?
And she was dressing in a mini. I was boxing
Your
earlier.
wife left you. Maybe she got the message. Good for her. Good girl. Good Mexican girl. Get rid of this fucking loser. What happened to your ring? What happened to the ring on your
I
finger?
don't like wearing the ring. It hurts. Like I punch things all the time. I don't like to wear the ring. What the fuck is wrong?
Not surprising. Menard punches things all the time.
I actually bented the ring because I punched so much. The ring is
Jerking
bent.
off?
I have 2 rings, by the way. Both of them are silver.
What does a ring represent?
I don't know. For you, it's to represent something amazing.
That doesn't mean anything to you, right? Because you think your wife's a whore.
To me, these sentimental things mean nothing to me. I'm not like a feminine guy like you.
Why wear the ring?
Wearing a ring does not mean anything to me. Your daughter is a whore. Your wife is a whore. And that's why I called your daughter her. She looked like a whore. Like maybe I was mistaken.
Get rid of this nigger.
Maybe
Holy shit. Look at Liechtenstein, how little welfare recipients it has. Probably because Liechtenstein, there's like probably pretty big like selection effects there, right? Like most like rich people choose to move to Liechtenstein because sorry, because like taxes are lower there, right? Like Sample says, Flawless, I would need to be paid more than the amount all the girls are offering because they're begging to sleep with me. That's Sample on being gay for pay, okay.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
How can he actually say that?
End it. Fuck this fucking. He's not getting an interview.
What the fuck?
Goodbye, faggot.
What? How can you say that?
How can you say that? Oh, Menard has such strong objections to the F's there. As a fundamentalist Islamist, I bet he does. Jesus. Bernie is a fraud. Base Menard, let's go. Isn't Sample gay already? Evidently not. Confronting P.F. Young and his ideology of being a fake Christian. Wow, nice one, Menard. Dude, Menard and Tim Pool would go hard.
Open waiting room. What do you want to debate me on?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hi. Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Can you see me?
Why are you still awake, Non-Fun? Because my sleep schedule is broken. It's not difficult for me to be awake right now because I've been going to bed at like 9 a.m. I think I went to bed at 11 a.m. yesterday. I've been like slowly trying to fix it, right? So I'll go to bed 9 a.m. one day, 10 a.m. the next day, 11 a.m. the next day, and eventually I'll be going to bed at like 8 p.m. Okay, and that's a fairly normal schedule to have. That's a little early, but I can just stay up late one night and fix it if I need to. But yeah.
Yes, but I'm not going to pull you up on the stream, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Just so you know who you're talking to.
Yes, but I'm not going to pull you up on the stream, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Just so you know who you're talking to. That's enough for me.
Bro wanted to show off his guns. Goddamn.
Okay.
How are you? You know, Erudite, if I wear my clothes like this, I would look like you.
What?
Okay.
Anyways, let's get to the actual topic of discussion here.
Oh my god, why are their armies better than mine? Didn't I send 4 armies here? Fuck. Oh shit! Thanks Anonymous for $5 fucking dollars. Let's go. Let's get it. Oh, my torque brake isn't working. Hold on. Yippee! Hell yeah. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on, give me. First of all, this should not be running anymore because that lags my computer. But hold on, give me. Hold on. Hold on. It's just one minute here. Cardio is all that matters. Weightlifting is just showing off. Real truth nuke. That's why I only do cardio with your mother. Hold on, it's loading. Hold on, it's gonna load. It's gonna load. It's gonna. Oh fuck! Not responding. What the fuck? No, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, we're not good. Okay. Well, I greatly appreciate the $5, Anonymous. Hell yeah, I appreciate it. Will, listen, donations help a lot. I am broke. I'm broke. We're trying to make this work. Hold on, let me give it a heart. Argument for a one-time wealth tax is that it doesn't distort incentives because it can't be anticipated, but it's obviously not going to be true if you try to implement it. Well, sure. But you know, I do like. I think we both said we like this quote sample. The like, you know, if you seized all the wealth of the billionaires, like you would fund the federal government for less than a year. Let's go. Love this stream. Listen, I love that you guys watch the stream. Oh shit! Twerk break. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Twerk break. There we go. Woohoo.
So you call yourself a Christian? Can I actually call you a Christian?
Unless you want to get into determining people's salvation status.
I'm asking you, can I call you a Christian? What do you call yourself?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
So you're a Christian?
Yeah.
But you think you believe in abortion?
Clearly, because maybe you guys missed that in these debates.
I don't know. I don't know what line he's gonna go down. I wonder if he's gonna say it's probably either trans people or abortion. Fuck,
And
my
now, hey,
airplanes are not good enough to protect me. Wait, they might just barely be.
Very proud of what you've done. I mean, that was a 7-hour session. Good job. That's amazing. How are you? No, anyways. So what I want to know is, can you just concisely and clearly explain how it's actually Christian to be feminist?
Oh, feminist.
Yeah, I think that Christians, by and large, should respect, most importantly, like free will, like self-determination, because Christ sent his son to die for us. So essentially, that we had the choice to have salvation and to choose him. And so it's pretty insane to me to want a worldview where you take away women's abilities to choose, you take away their ability to have opportunities and self-determine. That seems odd.
Okay, so it's actually in.
To have opportunities.
Dude, what the fuck are these notes? Free will because Christ died. Insane. Which actually, you know, to be fair, I'm sure. I don't think usually what I do, and I don't show it on stream, but I probably have at times, taking down a bullet point and then just underneath it just wrote like, that's retarded.
Okay, so it's actually insane for you. You said you used the word insane to actually have self-determinations.
Oh, okay. He's saying insane because for whatever reason, he thinks that's a really important word to hold it to account on. Okay.
Clarify, that was the word you used. What do you mean by self-determination? Isn't laws self-determining everyone's existence?
I hate this argument for feminism, but it's okay. Yeah, I don't see why you would. I don't see why we have to do a free will defense for fucking feminism, but we need to tax worker cooperatives because they negatively externally affect policy discourse based. Yes. Unironically though, tax. Mondragons in Spain. Tax Mondragon. Like, just fucking. Well, I was gonna say nationalize it, but that would also negatively affect. Fuck, I need to make another air. Oh, I'm not even making anything. Fuck, I'm bad at this game because I'm not paying attention to it.
Don't laws self-determine everyone's existence? Basically, it's a complete threshold, an ultimate threshold over everyone. So is that something?
Instance that everyone should have choice. Choice means that equality and freedom to do what others can do. Simple as that. What the fuck are they even arguing about? I don't know what argument Minar is going to run, but especially because Minar is not a Christian, so I don't know exactly what argument he's going to take. I don't know, but he's going to run some retarded argument. I'm trying to guess. But I also do think you can find support in the Bible for like anti-feminist ideas. I don't think the Bible I don't think the Bible is some super great feminist doctrine or whatever, right? Like that's it. I don't debate religion very often, not as informed in it, but like, people appeal to the Bible all the time when making anti-feminist arguments. So
similar what you're meaning, like by law limiting their actual humanity.
I don't know what you mean by how laws are self-determining. What does that even mean?
So wouldn't laws be self-determining? Because basically the laws of the land tell you do not do certain things. That means it's self-determined. You're not going to be doing these things, or something bad's going to happen.
You argue for genocide in the Bible? Well, I don't see people argue for genocide with the Bible, but I see people. I see people deny that, like, God basically ordered the genocide or whatever. Read an atheist moment, real.
Determining of every individual that exists in the society. No one's going to actually break these laws, basically, or they're going to be hurt.
Can't you break the law?
Well, can the woman actually break her subjugation or oppression?
Theoretically, depends on what you mean by that.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to find an example of what you mean. Is a legal framework that oppresses people? Is that something similar? Because that's a self-determining structure as well. Because basically these people are stuck. They can't get out of that unless they want to put themselves in harm's way. Just like any woman that want to get out of that situation would put herself in harm's way.
Just to pause you to get back to some words.
I'm using your words, by the way.
I'm okay. Just chill. Did you hear me talk about Heidegger's concept of chatter in the first debate with Jay?
Heidegger's
concept of chatter.
You know what? Remind me of that.
Yeah, no worries. It's pretty esoteric. I wasn't expecting anyone to know. So Heidegger's concept of chatter is essentially how a lot of times when you're talking about
By the way, Menard does all these debates. Menard didn't know what a stance independent reason was. Like, I bet if you asked him, he wouldn't even remember until very recently. Like he had some moral realism debate with someone. He didn't even know what a stance independent reason was.
You'll end up using words, and when you use a word and I use a word, we mean it differently, but we never actually clarify that difference in words, and so we end up talking past each other and having useless conversations because we're not even agreeing on what the words mean. And Heidegger calls this chatter, and he thinks it's a very negative thing to do. And so essentially when we're talking, it's really important that when you say self-determine, that I'm understanding it in the same way that I would be using self-determine.
Okay,
so
give me an example of how it would be self-determined way of oppressing a woman. Go ahead. Like to self-determine, I guess, her existence in a society, right? That was your claim? Is that Christians should not be doing that?
Christians should allow women to self-determine, yeah.
Your original claim was that you don't want anyone to oppress somebody from self-determining. What does that mean?
Why is Menard debating more realism? Menard doesn't believe it's possible to be more realist if you're an atheist, and he thinks that's like a big negative entailment from atheism. But
self-determine, I essentially mean the ability to choose opportunities. So a woman should be allowed to choose whether she stays single or doesn't stay single, whether she buys land or doesn't buy land, whether she goes to school or doesn't go to school, these sorts of things.
So women should be able to do that, and your argument is that men or Christians should not actually. Where in the scripture actually? What's the actual appeal in the scripture that you're actually appealing to? That the women actually should hold on to all of these things? Because you're appealing to scripture, right? Christianity.
Sure, but I'm not being like what you're doing is it's a form of apologetics where you're looking for like a single line to prove an idea, but I don't engage with scripture in that way, right? I don't look for like one line that I feel supports me because I think that's a bad way to engage with scripture. What I look for is like emergent principles and narratives, right? So let's think of like, for example, like a parable, right? What's your favorite parable in the Bible?
I'm not gonna have an answer.
I don't know, the wolf, the guy the kid that yelled wolf.
That's not in the Bible, but sure. Your favorite parable.
We're talking about
Let's go. The kid. What is he even talking about? What the kid who cried wolf? Is that what he's talking about?
Bible.
Wait. Bible.
My favorite parable. I don't know, the wolf, the guy the kid that yelled wolf.
That's not in the Bible.
Yeah, the kid that Is that even a parable? Do I just have a bad definition of parable? I thought parable. Well, actually, it might be a parable. I thought parable was supposed to be like a short like phrase that like taught you like a lesson. A simple story used to illustrate a moral story. I mean, I guess the boy who cried wolf would count as one.
Your favorite parable.
We're talking about the Bible.
It's fine. We can use that one too. So what's the lesson of the boy who cried wolf?
That I guess you were not supposed to mess around with your word, and because people will lose.
You should never speak again. That's beyond embarrassing. I know.
Exactly, right? And so if I, for example, was making...
Minar embarrasses himself constantly, but he doesn't care. I wish he had the confidence in Minar.
Argument, and I was using the boy who cried wolf, and I just cite like a line where like say the villagers go, oh my goodness, we need to help you because there's a wolf, and then I cite that as evidence for something, but it has nothing to do with like the actual meaning of the story. That would be like a bad way to engage in the parable, and I think the Bible is very parable-like in that way.
But
right?
It's almost like saying, if I'm misunderstanding, you can explain this to me. But it's almost like saying the reason the people lost trust in him was that he was lying is not actually important for the story. Is that what you're actually claiming? Because I needed to know why because other than why wouldn't they listen to him the third time, is because they actually believe that he was lying. So basically, me explaining that part of the story, are you saying that that's not relevant to the story? Of course, that's extremely relevant to the story. It's a big question that needs to be answered in the story. That's
No, I
actually
think
developed from the outcome and from the beginning of the story.
So you're just misunderstanding me, right? What I'm saying is that the way that I
Erudite should yell more at him. What the fuck? It's clear she's never spoken to Bernard before. It is funny though, like now, like dude, like by now you can ask like any big like creator about Bernard. They like fucking hate him, or not like super big or anything. I don't think Destiny knows who Bernard is. But like you can ask Erudite, you can ask Tomfoolery, you can ask I think even Sarah the Raging Tomato has had panels with Bernard. She doesn't. I don't know if she even lets him on anymore. It is so funny. He's made the rounds in all these places that like everyone is Menard. Menard and Destiny should debate. I would watch it. He was I believe he told me that he was actually pretty close once. He was going to be on a panel with him, but they never did it.
Around with another dude. She was having
Sorry,
an affair with another guy.
Stream.
She
Sarah
waited
hates
for her
Menard.
husband to
Yeah.
come home, and she
Rob
shot him
Noir.
in the head, dude.
Oh yeah, he has
She
debated Rob
went
Noir
back to
too.
the lover, told him what she did, and then she killed herself, dude. Yeah, it was a murder-suicide.
I want to talk to PPG about Zorhan. I haven't had a chance to because usually I go to bed before he streams, but now that my sleep schedule's broken. When PPG doesn't respond to Discord DMs, you kind of have to type it in chat.
Antipsychotic drugs. I forget the name. Seroquel, dude. Do not take that one, dude. Do not take Seroquel. I took Seroquel. I took a lot of Seroquel, dude. I think most of my fucking brain has been gone because of Seroquel, dude. And Xanax together. I mean, I was fucked, dude. I was fucked. Whatever the psychiatrist was pushing on me, I was taking it. It got to a point where I was like, dude, they're just these people are just here, take it. Who cares? Like they're just pushing this shit on people, right? When I got out of it, dude, when I got completely out of it, stopped taking anything, that's when I realized I am one of those people, man, that says that, look, if antidepressants work for you, great. Those drugs they need to be more investigated, dude. That's my take.
True, we need RFK.
Why not? Let's do it. We're gonna talk to non-fun.
I don't know where he's expecting to be.
Seroquel. It's like a bipolar people. Why you take it? The doctors were like, take it, dude. They were just pushing it on me. They were pushing.
This dude, can you believe it? He didn't join my server, did he? What's up?
Hello. What's up?
Not much. I'm curious how you feel about your socialist icon Zorhan winning the primary.
I think I called it. I think I completely called it. I told you guys that you should not be listening to fucking Polymarket because they might have gotten Trump right, but that was a fluke.
True. I don't know. I mean, Polymarket had its odds at like 40% or whatever the night before the election. I don't know if Polymarket got it super wrong, but all right.
Well, I'm talking about like from the remember they were showing that Cuomo was gonna win. Like you're only saying that because the Emerson poll. There was an Emerson poll that came out that had Zoran winning by 4 points. So it switched. But then it switched back to Cuomo. Like it literally almost during election time, it went switch back to Cuomo. it's just people betting, dude. Like that's like a betting fucking site.
I mean, I think
But
overall, I've seen evidence that betting markets actually do predict outcomes better than like polls. But okay.
well, they were going like in this race. I kind of knew that Zoran was gonna win because of the early vote, and the people that I trust were saying that because of the early vote, Zoran already had like 100,000 fucking vote advantage because Staten Island, Cuomo was supposed to prop up votes from the Bronx and Staten Island, and nobody was showing up for him, dude. So I was like, he's gonna go into 100. I should have bet money, dude. I should have bet a lot of fucking money.
Dude, I was actually considering buying in Poly Market on Zorhan when he was at 23% because I felt like he was gonna win. I didn't do a ton of research or anything. It was just a vibe, but
it was the vibes. It was the vibes. Como I said when Zoran, I think I gave Zoran like $500 when he was second place like with like 6%, dude. Like Como had like 40%. But I said Como can only lose. Como's got sexual allegations. He's not gonna be campaigning. He's not gonna do shit, dude. Zoran, a charismatic opponent, is gonna be able to, make this motherfucker look bad, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zorhan obviously had a really good vibes, really good rhetoric. I think he
had the main shit was the ground game, dude. It was the ground game. He said he had 50,000 canvassers. I believe him, dude, for sure.
Yeah, I do. Listen, I just don't. This is where I'm at with Zorhan. Okay, I think like if I lived in New York, I probably would have sucked it up and voted for him. Just because I think Cuomo and Eric Adams are evil, right? I don't think Eric Adams is running in a primary, but he's gonna run in the general now. Like I don't think you should vote for Cuomo or Eric Adams, but
Cuomo said he's gonna stay in the race. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cuomo did say he's gonna stay in now, which
he's gonna stay because they're gonna. I mean, the billionaires are already like gearing up to give whoever runs against Zoran like literally millions of dollars. So Cuomo is a fucking scammer, dude. He's just gonna scam. They're not gonna win. Zoran is gonna end up being mayor, but they're just gonna take the money. They're gonna scam the money.
I mean, look, I just don't think Zorhan has particularly good policy, and I want to defend it.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, look. Let's just keep it. I'm gonna keep it surface level, real quick.
Sure.
Obviously, 43% of fucking New Yorkers have a portability problem, right? What is the solution? Is the solution to vote for a Republican, another neoliberal, or to go with something new?
I mean, I would say a neoliberal, but what?
Well,
I don't know what poll you're citing. So like, it is entirely possible. It is entirely possible that 43% of New Yorkers have affordability issues. That sounds plausible to me. But I think a lot of that is
no. I'm telling you the results of the election. 43%, as of now, 43% of Democratic voters, which tend to be the majority of voters in New York, said we need fucking change.
Oh, you mean that's just a percent of people who voted for Zorhan? Okay, I thought you were, yeah.
Did you see the rent-free shit? It was 78%. There was that one poll.
So I agree he has populist policy, and a lot of people like populist policy, right? But
yeah,
I just don't think it's a good policy.
There's already been rent freezes in New York, which
I agree. I think they were bad.
Well, I don't live in New York, dude, but I would take a New Yorker's perspective better than us.
Well, I would take I mean, it's not like my opinion. Well, it is my opinion that rent freezes are bad, but I'm not just citing my opinion. I'm citing the models that show that rent control is going to have, it's going to decrease the quantity supply of housing. It's going to decrease the quality of housing.
That's not rent control. That was rent freeze. It was a rent freeze. The empirical,
right? Well, that's a form of rent control. So rent
control is more. Wait, isn't Zoran? Zoran is an abundance, bro, man. Zoran has been calling to fucking build more housing. You guys think that's? I don't think that's a solution. But that's you guys have. He's an abundance, bro.
I like 40% agree. so I think Zoran like has praised abundance before, and I think to the extent that he like is genuine in his belief in the abundance agenda, I think that's good. And I think part of the reason that I said I might suck it up and vote for him if I lived in New York is because that Cuomo also doesn't have good housing policy, right? Like at least Zoran has talked about building more housing. I really have not seen Cuomo do the same, and I don't think I think he was actively
would you have a
against building
debate
more housing.
if I set up a debate with you? I'm pretty sure you would do it, right? If I try to set up a debate, I don't know if I could do it, dude, but I'm gonna try. If you say yes, with Amy C3, would you like to talk to her?
I have no.
And I would mitigate that shit.
No
Amy C3 is a housing advocate, dude. She's like she's on Twitch.
A housing advocate.
Like
what is that?
Yeah, she knows the most that I've ever seen anybody knows about housing, and she's like remember I sent a survey to you guys about, and she told me give it to all the abundance bros, and you're an abundance bro, right? Like bro. You're not an abundance bro?
I know I said I am an abundance bro. That's true.
Yeah. If you ever want to talk to her, I'll try to set it up, dude. You guys were let's talk about it. So
I'd be down to talk to her. I don't know. Is she just like super like pro rent control? Like what's the is she super anti-abundance? Or?
Rent control is bad in a nutshell, dude. Like by itself, I agree. It's not. It's. She would agree that by itself, it's a bandage, right? Like people like to focus on rent control itself. It's just a bandage, and it's not gonna do anything. And you're right. If you go by neoliberal,
the real solution is get rid of landlords. Is that the position?
Well, no, hold on. Because if you just go by rent control, obviously there's gonna be less building. If in our system, right? But if you have rent control and you have public housing like Vienna, well, that would have different outcomes together as one.
I think the social housing part, I mean, I agree, like, you can mitigate the negative effects of rent control by building more housing, and I think I'm not totally opposed to social housing. Like, I just think, I mean, one, the abundance bros, a lot of them aren't opposed to social housing. They just mention, like, hey, it costs way too much to build affordable housing.
Ezra Klein is opposed to, so like this is one of the things
you think Ezra
really
Klein is opposed to social housing?
Well, he is because Ezra Klein, I know Ezra Klein, dude. Ezra Klein has been a neoliberal, supporting neoliberal politicians for the longest. The California, right? He was talking about California, brother. Politically, he supports those politicians that have set restrictions on the shit that he now supposedly opposes. Ezra Klein. So he now he wants to go around talking about, oh no, now the state should have much more apparatus to build more housing or whatever. It's bullshit, dude. I know Ezra Klein. I know he's full of shit.
Do you think
he would not support people like Zoran?
Yeah, because Zoran has like other, anti-abundance policies that he probably doesn't like. But
Zoran is
I think Ezra Klein is sincere in his belief of supporting social housing. I think he probably just votes for who is overall most aligned with him. Like, I mean, you agree Ezra Klein has gone on record and stated, I support public housing. Like, he's like, I love social housing. It just costs way too much money to build.
Ezra Klein has a record, dude. He has always supported neoliberals over progressives. You're not going to get public housing with neoliberals. That's just a fact.
Right, but
in California, that's the fucking problem.
He can still be sincere in his belief of supporting public housing, but just say, hey, I like public housing, but I also don't like the other policies attached to socialism, these socialist people in California. So I think the neoliberals are better aligned with me overall.
Well, let me tell you. This is what I mean, right? So this is like talking to Turbo. When Turbo says, I agree with abortion, but I also support Trump. Right? Those people. It's like, no, you don't agree with abortion. You don't believe in abortion because the guy who got rid of abortion is Donald Trump. So politically, you are against your own fucking... I mean, this is a fact.
You don't believe
You're against your own
it might not be like your number one issue or whatever, but you can still obviously be pro-abortion.
Right now he's going
and-
around with his fucking little gay book about abundance, dude. Right? He's trying to make it a big deal. It's like,
awesome
if this
book.
is your number one issue, then you should be supporting people like Zoran, who believes in
also,
public
this game
housing.
is goated, ZRT. Thanks. So I think Ezra Klein. First of all, I don't even know if Ezra Klein is that anti-abundance or that anti-Zoran. I know his wife is, but
He saw the writing on the wall.
I imagine
He saw the writing. I know Ezra Klein, dude. He is such a fucking neoliberal. I've known this motherfucker for a long time. He has. Oh no, dude! It's because he's always supported. He didn't support Bernie. He fucking supported Joe Biden. He supported Hillary Clinton. He's always supported anybody in this race. He supported Brad Lander. I think he saw the writing on the wall, and he supported.
I think that's arguably the, probably the most pro-abundance guy who was running, but.
Okay, let's go with abundance.
But look, like, so this is probably what Ezra Klein's critique of, Zoran would be. One, he doesn't think public housing is going to work without the type of, deregulation that Ezra Klein wants. Like, look at places like Chicago where they try to build affordable housing and it costs like $1 million per unit. Look at cases
that is the problem, dude.
Like in Illinois. Where there's other cases in Illinois where projects are awarded not based on affordability, but based on DEI, based on being a black-owned business, based on unions.
Those are very small, very small. He's talking about very small regulations. He like, his neoliberalism pours out of this motherfucker. He's bringing up like, instances of very small regulations. And he makes it such a big deal where and he's also anti-union. I don't know if you saw that when he was talking to Sam Sear, where he was like, it's these unions that want shit. What was it, dude?
Well, no,
no.
This is just not true. You can read the book Abundance, and they say the problem isn't unions in and of themselves, because union density in Paris is much higher, but the government can still build trains in Paris, right? It doesn't cost so much money to build subway systems in Paris. It's a
but those roadblocks, non-fun, were set up by. I know what he's talking about, dude. But the main roadblocks to building the shit that you're talking about are set up by neoliberals, dude, which he supports.
Hold on, wait.
Which he supports.
What do you mean? The roadblocks, the DEI zoning roadblocks.
See, you're giving me one instance. I could give here. I'm gonna give you another instance, dude.
Sure. Go
ahead. when let's go with BlackRock in Los Angeles. BlackRock doesn't want BlackRock in Los Angeles in particular. BlackRock fucking buys politicians. What do?
I don't know, man. Tell me.
So they have empty buildings, which
that's
they,
so true, buddy.
they jack up. They literally do, dude.
It's a very big.
How many buildings? There's in Los Angeles. There is empty fucking buildings that they're withholding so that they can price out people. Then more fucking people with more money are gonna come into Los Angeles. This is what they do.
That's
they
a
have a
bigger
monopoly.
issue? Do you think that's a bigger issue than zoning laws?
Yeah, it is the bigger issue. Yes. Well, okay, no, because you're talking about abundance. I have a very good question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Where is New York gonna build, right? So in New York, you're comparing two different fucking things, right? The abundance
higher
bills.
density.
You're talking about he brings up Austin, and then he brings up New York, right? Austin is a desert fucking wasteland that you could build up.
We invented the technology for skyscrapers 100 years ago.
Okay.
We use it less often now. We use it less often
I
now.
agree with you. I agree with you on that, right?
That's obviously because of regulation, not because New York doesn't have anywhere to build. Look, 40% of buildings in New York today would be illegal to build under current zoning laws because they're too dense, have too many businesses, too many apartments. They aren't set back enough, like there are setback requirements. Obviously, zoning is a big issue in New York.
Okay, zoning laws, some of them are bad, dude. Sure, whatever, right? But where are you going to build up affordable housing?
Either up or
What do
you like?
I'm sorry, not affordable housing, public housing.
In New York, you can do it wherever. I mean, I don't actually know if you would need public housing in New York if you just like, oh shit, thanks for the subs, ZRT, I appreciate it. Hell yeah, but like I think rents would go down.
I don't know why he left,
True.
dude.
I think rents would go down if
ZRT got mad at.
let...
Hold on, real quick. Now that I have him here, ZRT got mad that we owned them because obviously there's a genocide going on, and he never came back, dude. ZRT, you little bitch. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Look, rents would go down if you let private developers build in New York, even without public housing.
Because they have a private monopoly on the housing that you're talking about. Unless you build public housing.
Who has a monopoly in New York? In New York housing.
Who has a monopoly in New York? It's a combination of BlackRock. Dude, it's okay, not a monopoly.
Wait, hold on. I forgot about this statistic too. Austin and Houston both individually approved more housing than the entire state of New York. Hold on, PPG. Houston individually approved more housing permits than the entire state of New York. Not just New York City, the entire state of New York. That's insane. That's clearly zoning. That's
Houston, there's
not land issue.
More land.
There's not more land in Houston than the entire state of New York.
There is more land. Hold on. The entire state of New York. Okay, that's different. Okay, you're talking about the city of Houston. Regardless, the statistics that you guys brought up, that he brought up about Houston, he said the rents went down. The rents went down by like 5%, dude. It was like a 70% increase in. I know this, Ezra Klein didn't bring that up against fucking Sam, dude. And he tried to make a claim that people left Houston. A whole bunch of fucking people left Houston. So obviously the market
when did Houston's population decline? I don't know when that happened.
No. But people stopped buying. People stopped buying housing in Houston, dude.
Okay.
Yes, look it up, dude. It only went down by 5%. It went up by 30%.
I would imagine.
I don't have the statistics in me, dude.
That's great.
But regardless,
but
dude,
look,
this
so
is
rents
like
tend
the main point.
rent tends to go up like over time. That's why everyone is freaking out about the housing affordability crisis. Is because this is like going up. So even just slowing the rate of incline of rent is meaningful, let alone decreasing them by 5%. Like that's insane. There are very few places in the U.S. where the price of rent is like decreasing.
Your solution is always bow to the fucking market, dude. Right? You guys.
I think number one.
Why can't you just have the?
I think you could.
Why can't you just do the Vienna model where you can make this market like whatever? What is it like 40%? Of the housing market, you could have a 40% housing market and a gigantic public option where it's public housing and rent control to go along. Why can't we have a city like that, dude?
So one, I think you could do more public housing if it wasn't impossibly expensive to build. I think that is probably that is a big issue with public housing right now, is that we just cannot build it because there are too many zoning laws, there are too many union labor requirements, there are too many DI requirements, there are too many environmental reviews, and it just makes it, way more costly to build public housing. Again, like $1 million per unit in Chicago. Like that's insane. You're never going to get enough affordable housing at that price. That's crazy. But too, I just don't think the market has a particularly bad outcome for housing. And I do, by the way, there's evidence, at least from France, that social housing can actually crowd out public construction. So if, the government is building houses, that means private corporations build less houses. And if the government is building houses less, neighborhoods less densely than the private market otherwise would, you actually have a negative effect on housing supply from social housing. Now, that probably doesn't always hold because it depends on how you build it.
But that's a good... I mean, why is that a bad thing, though?
Why is it a bad thing that there would be less homes?
Does France... Where that particular... Where is it? In Paris? Where did you get that statistic?
I can pull up the paper. I think I was in Paris. It might have been.
What is their homeless rate? If their homeless rate is super high, like per capita, then that would be a problem. If it isn't, then why is that a problem?
Because there are obviously other concerns other than homelessness. With like how much people are paying. So if you increase housing supply, rents go down.
I'm pretty sure government housing is way fucking cheaper than private housing.
Well, that's true, but if you're crowding out other private housing, the total housing stock is less, so that it's probably going to be a higher overall average price.
I don't think so, man. I would love to see that statistic, dude. What I'm concerned about is homeless people, right?
Hold on, that if you build more homes, the price of homes go down, or like?
No, I don't think that's true. I don't think that if you build more homes, housing is true. And you're bringing up Houston as an example, and Houston went down like 5%.
I don't think I brought up Houston as an example. I think
Ezra Klein did against Sam Cedar.
Sure.
Do you watch Mike PA? I don't know. I don't know a lot about housing. I'm just giving you the shit that I've seen. So I am going to set up this debate, dude.
Okay.
No. I'm gonna try to set up this debate, dude, because this girl knows way more than I admittedly don't know shit about housing, dude. I know that Zoran would have been way better than Cuomo, and he has talked about abundance, and he agrees with the abundance bros that some zoning laws are fucked. He's talked about it, right?
Mm-hmm. But hold on, look.
Wait, okay.
I can pull up some studies on this. I have them in my notes, but like there are quite a few studies that find that increasing supply of homes and reforming zoning laws does actually decrease rents. But
who you would have picked over Zoran in New York?
Like I said, I think I would have ranked Zorhan like 5th probably. I don't know enough about the other candidates to like assign them in order, but like I think.
But you wouldn't have ranked Cuomo.
I would not have ranked Cuomo.
Okay, good. Well, then there you go. You supported Zoran, dude.
Well, that's what I came in here. So what I came in here saying is that I think I would suck it up and vote for Zorhan, but I have to suck it up. Like I just think most of his policy is just like bad. And I think.
Well, let's go with his 3 main. He has 4 main policies, right? It was the rent freeze.
Mm-hmm.
New York has had rent freeze before. That's why I think 78% of fucking New Yorkers. 78% of New Yorkers in New York agree with that policy. I mean, we live in a somewhat democracy. Everybody said for us to tell them what they want is, it does make it good or bad for them, dude. What do you mean? Then what do you determine
whether or not the
majority
majority of people in New York believe rent control is good does not make it good. Like,
but that's their living standards in their immediate, material conditions. You're gonna tell those people how to live?
It's nonsense. I will tell them my opinion on the effects of rent control.
Well, they're gonna, most of them are gonna tell you will never don't run for office, dude, because they're gonna tell you.
Well, I don't think that. I don't necessarily think like the most effective campaign strategy is citing study after study, but like I do think, I do think you should have opinions on policies like rent control, and I think the evidence shows rent control is bad. So like,
okay, and what was his other one? It was grocery stores, right?
Yeah.
City-run grocery stores. Why don't you like that one?
I don't think there's good evidence of like grocery stores systematically like price gouging or anything. I don't have faith that the government
is not true.
Grocery stores efficiently. Like
the more grocery stores. We actually talked about this. Me and you, not just me and you, you and Maida, right? When Albertsons and Kroger's were trying, this is Joe Biden's administration,
they were merging.
When they were trying to monopolize, oligopoly merge, and evidence. I mean, in that article, it says evidence has shown that when you have big mergers like this, grocery stores prices tend to go up, and worker rights tend to be fucked.
Based, but I mean, like, is there anywhere close to an oligopoly on grocery stores in New York? I don't believe so. But secondly, well, actually,
overall in America, there is I would say there's Walmart, Amazon, Kroger's. Those are like the top ones, right? There's only like 5 or 6.
I mean, Walmart is like lower prices than like local.
Well, they're
grocery
trying
stores
to.
and everything.
That's a statistic.
So, like,
that is a tactic that they're doing. Like you're bringing up that. That's like what Amazon did, right? Like bring down their prices, knock out their competitors, and then raise their prices.
I mean, but as long as barriers to entry are low, like other companies can come in, like as soon as they're charging above marginal cost, other companies can enter the market. Now, obviously there are.
Come on, you don't believe that, dude. Who's gonna compete against fucking Walmart?
Anyone can. Like there are barriers to entry. Obviously, I agree, and that's why Walmart probably can charge above marginal cost. But if you look at the look at the margins at grocery stores, they're at like 2 to 3%. Like there's
Well,
not
okay,
good evidence
but what is wrong with city? So he cites food deserts, right? And he said that's a problem. And
so I haven't done a ton of research into food deserts, but I just don't think empirically that they are a thing. And even if they are, like, you know, the issue, like, I just don't think public ownership is typically that efficient.
Well, okay, but he you know, people think that he's like trying to replace, right? We're talking about capitalism. He says he's trying to replace the market.
Mm-hmm.
He has talked about this shit. He's trying to create these particular fucking city-run whatever the fuck they're called, city-run. A lot of red states have shit like this, right? Because they're much more rural, and obviously, if you have a market, if you're not making a lot of profit in a rural area, you don't give a fuck, so you don't set up shop, right? That would be considered a food desert. Utah has fucking some government-owned, state-owned, not even city-owned, state-owned fucking grocery stores and liquor stores mainly. Well, you do it because people cannot possibly, they have to drive way fucking further. A literal food desert.
I mean, that's just like in my mind. That's just like rural people, you know, having to pay for their lifestyle essentially. But
okay, so they should get fucked. Like, because of the market, they should get fucked.
They should. We should, like, I don't necessarily see why we should like subsidize their lifestyle. Like I don't I don't see a particularly big need to do that. One, I don't think again, I have stuff in my Twitter bookmarks, I think, but I don't think that food deserts are like that empirically verifiable. But you know, to the extent that the reason companies can't afford to set up grocery stores in rural areas is because those resources are more efficiently employed elsewhere. Like it's not efficient to use, you know, a bunch of resources to build a grocery store in the middle of nowhere. And I think that's a good thing. I think that people should not have an incentive to waste resources. Like I think that's what's good about the profit and loss system is that, you know, a loss in profit represents resources not being put to the most
everyone needs to know that
allocated
non-fun went on a long tangent saying if you live there, or New York is not rural, right? And he says, and I'm pretty sure there's food deserts.
I agree that you mentioned rural areas.
Well, hold on. I'll give you an example. But I was giving you an example, but let's go with New York. He says that a lot of and it's true. I lived in the ghetto. You do experience that, dude. You don't really have grocery stores in the fucking ghetto. These people cannot afford cannot afford that much groceries. So you have less profit. So corporations said, fuck that. We'll just build over here. And obviously people need to eat, eat and whatever. So they have to drive further, pay more because the more wealthier the more wealthier the place, you're going to see a jack up in prices, right? It's kind of like gasoline, dude. If you go market based, yes, and so you do have some form of food deserts. Obviously, people would not be complaining if it didn't work. But he's not trying to replace. I think I've seen right wingers say he's trying to replace the private industry, whatever corporations, right? Private industry, private grocery stores, right? No, he's just bringing them in where there's food deserts. And wouldn't this be better? Because you're actually you will see a competition between the state-run fucking grocery store and private industry.
So, one, I agree with you. He's not trying to replace anything. He's, building like 5 stores as a pilot program, which is why, like I said, I think his policy is not bad enough such that I would vote for Cuomo over him. I just think it's still suboptimal.
PPG wins.
To the extent that I came into this saying that I would, vote for Zoran over Cuomo. But
no, that's good.
I just think he's bad policy.
Look, Matt, PPG is a winner take all, dude. If you said you weren't gonna run Cuomo, then good, we win, dude.
Right.
Zoran wins, dude. Good.
I think this is my position that I said on Twitter. I was like, you know, if you're like me and believe that like libertarians basically should have sucked it up and voted for Kamala, even if they don't like big government that Kamala Harris was going to do or whatever, Trump is just like obviously evil, and like you should not vote for him. In the same way, I think like moderate Democrats should just not be okay with Eric Adams or Cuomo, even if they think Sohana is worse. That's what's policy.
I like how for the law, bro, I'm on the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time I kept telling people, vote for Kamala, you're a liberal, you're a cuck, you're not a left winger, all this shit. And I said, obviously Donald Trump is gonna be fascist, dude. And that's exactly what 5 months in, dude.
Yeah.
That's everything that's all he's done, dude. Okay, well, before we continue with Zoran, what do you think about the Supreme Court ruling, dude?
I haven't read a ton into it, so like conceivably I could imagine the ruling is basically saying that federal courts can't have like universal injunctions, right? It's just saying
district courts, no, or federal courts?
District court. Well, aren't they federal district courts? There are federal districts, right? I think.
Maybe I think you're right. Who knows? I think you're right, but I mean, well, what's the fucking point? Like, even Gorp, who is a fucking libertarian.
Well, I was just making sure I understood the ruling, because I haven't, like I said, read into it too much. I mean, I think like.
I mean, it basically says that you just can't, like, for example, Trump's birthright citizenship has basically gone into effect because you can't fucking say no to him. Like, it has to go. You have to wait all the way till it goes to the Supreme Court and then get a ruling, which takes months and months.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, conceivably, like I could see, I think there is a legal case for it, but like, I don't know, it's obviously like Trump is not going to interpret this ruling in good faith. He's going to use it in the most like evil bullshit ways, like,
obviously. No, obviously, yes, and I'll give you an example that everybody should be fucking scared. He's gonna do an executive order for everybody to have voter ID laws right before the election, dude. And it's obviously going to take months before, the election is done. And it's going to go into effect. And people who don't have IDs are not going to be able to vote, dude.
Right.
I already know where he's going with this shit, dude. I mean, he's going to disenfranchise. I don't know if you looked into the data of this shit. This disenfranchises like, I think like 20 million Democratic voters. He's going to basically rig the election.
Listen, I don't know if I go that far.
Brother, look into it. I'll actually 20 million. Yes. No, because there's a lot of states that don't require. Here in California, you don't have to have an ID.
Right.
There's a lot of states that don't require voter ID.
Wait, are you talking about the midterms, or are you talking about the next presidential election?
I don't know when he's gonna do it. I don't think he's gonna do it in the midterms. I think he'll do it in the general election. And I think he's gonna do it. He's also gonna say that he could legally run. Well, and it's gonna what? There's no district court that's gonna say no. It's gonna go all the way to the Supreme Court.
I assign like maybe 15% probability that I'll actually try to run for a third term. We'll see, but I don't know about the disenfranchisement thing. Like,
man, I've put any doubt out of my mind with Trump. Like I don't know why you especially, motherfucker, you're a little bit on my side where you say that Donald Trump is pretty fascist, right? I have no doubt that he would do some shit like this.
I mean, I don't like playing games with the word fascist, but yeah, I think Trump is authoritarian. I don't think he respects the Constitution, so yeah.
Okay, I gotta grab a beer and take a piss, dude. There's 26 people in my chat. Talk to them.
All right. What's up, PPG's chat? How y'all doing? What do you think of this PPG guy? The Constitution? I remember that thing. Me too, for real. What's up, bitch? What's up? Remind PPG to buy condoms. What does PPG need condoms for? Because no birthright. Oh, that's true. That's true. Wait, PPG is a citizen, right? So PPG is cool sometimes. That's true. Shut up, Jew kid bitch. Okay. I mean, I'm not Jewish, but he an illegal? What? I thought PPG was a citizen. I thought You're trolling me right now. I thought PPG got his citizenship via birthright, but it doesn't apply retroactively. This kid will also be not yet. You're bullshitting me. You're bullshitting me. You're bullshitting me. I think he's an anchor baby. Yeah, I thought he literally. I thought he got his citizenship via birthright. Everyone breaks the law. That is true. That is true. You think he's telling the truth? I don't. Well, I don't know because I don't know what he says. I think you guys are just bullshitting me. Jew, beaked, neoliberal centrist in a dress. That is true. That is, I'll accept that description of me as accurate. Based. Turbo, what do you think of Zorhan? Are you a Zorhan? I don't even know if you would support Zorhan. You might still think he's too establishment or something. I could see you being so far left you don't even support him. But PPG and El Salvador have a date. Based. I would break PPG out of Sakat if he was sent there. Soon Americans will be cleansed of illegals. Dude, it would be funny to see like a headline one day. It's just like Californian man mistakenly deported to El Salvador, and it's just fucking PPG. Oh, that'd be funny. PPG's MS-13. I believe it. I believe it.
Holy shit, that was at least 5 minutes of racism, dude. Thank you, guys.
Racism?
Or whatever. Yeah, racism.
Whoa.
PPG is an anchor baby. He was born in Compton, California. Both of my parents were immigrants. They're not immigrants anymore.
Incredible.
All right. What was Sorhan's third? Yeah, I know he has 4 issues, dude. That he always. This is why he won, by the way, dude.
Rent, grocery stores, taxes, and free buses. Or whatever.
Taxes. He's gonna tax high income earners, right? It's not the shit that you're talking about. You're talking about
right. I mean, I still think that's
the debate.
You
think that's bad?
I don't actually know. I don't. So the raising the corporate tax, I think, is bad. The a surcharge on income tax for people over
$1 million. You think raising the corporate tax is bad, dude? Why?
Yes, because corporate taxes are really inefficient. They harm investment. They harm wages. They, raise prices. They're just not good taxes.
How do they harm wages?
Because, I mean, there's empirical evidence that they do harm wages. I forget it. Fuck, I should know the mechanism.
I already know where you're going with this, dude. Because they obviously the hierarchy of a fucking corporation.
Obviously, if you decrease, if you decrease the after-tax return of investment, there'll be less investment, and there'll be if companies invest less, that's gonna not raise workers' productivity, and that's gonna have negative impact on wages, but also there's a more direct mechanism. I should know it. PPG, thanks for informing me that I don't know the mechanism, but there is empirical evidence that corporate taxes harm wages.
Okay, let's go with so he's taxing income, right? And he says that Donald Trump's fucking was it the salt tax? When they removed the salt tax, Donald Trump removed the salt tax. I forget how he words the shit. It obviously increased taxes for blue state rich people. And he says that Donald Trump increased all of your guys' taxes and none of it went to anything productive. He wants to increase it by like 2%? 2%, and he's going to pay for, he says he's going to use it for most of his policies. You think that's bad?
Yeah, so for one, the way the policy is set out actually has a it's like the opposite of a welfare cliff. It's like a tax cliff. So basically, like if you're earning I forget the exact number, but I think it's if you earn $1 extra, to get into the like 1 million bracket or whatever, you end up paying like $20,000 more in taxes, right? And that's not how taxes should work. You want like progressive brackets where instead of like, oh, I moved up in a bracket and I pay more in taxes, it's just that like the marginal, I pay the extra tax on the new money in the margin.
Yeah, but he's putting it on people that don't. 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 He's put aren't gonna feel it, man. This is New York, right? A lot of these income owners are fucking Wall Street workers that make a shit ton of money. I don't know why this is bad. Why people say this is bad. And a lot of the social programs that he's talking about, like childcare and free childcare, free buses, or shit like that. I don't know if those motherfuckers take the bus, but it at least is going to good use. This isn't like random, random taxes to just fuck like what Donald Trump did when he took away the salt tax, right?
Repeat that. Sorry. With the,
he took away the salt tax, which means people were not rich. Rich people in blue states would use it, so they could get a tax reduction and have a lot of money given back to them in tax returns. Right? This is, they're not getting shit out of it. This is a good little tax to get something out of it, dude. A lot of these people work, so their kids are gonna be fucking the city's gonna have a fucking what did he say? The child
universal child care, which I think might be
universal child care, yes, which would be that I think housing, what is it, like $22,000 a year that fucking children you have to pay for child care for them to go to work, right? Most households have houses now that both parents work. Wouldn't that be a net positive?
Well, I'm skeptical of the ability to have like public ownership of like daycare and things like that. Like I don't know, I don't know how efficient that's gonna be.
You're just like a neoliberal dude. Like you think that public
true.
doesn't do dog shit. Good.
I don't think it. I think it does. I think typically state-owned and things are less efficient than private things, but there are trade-offs with like equality and things like that. So like I think public ownership can make sense sometimes, absolutely. But
what do you think of the USPS? You think that's good? It should not be privatized?
No, I think we should probably privatize it.
Oh my god, you're fucking insane, dude. Oh my god. Not fun. You are a Republican, dude.
True.
Has anybody ever told you this shit?
True. Yeah, don't worry. Yep.
Oh.
They have.
What? Okay, please justify why the USPS should be privatized.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why we need to like subsidize, real people's lifestyles there as well. Like I don't know. Like I think we've already.
You're not only gonna fuck them over, dude. You know that a lot of our look at our private, our private. The ones that do deliver packages, it's pretty much also an oligopoly. Everybody's gonna get priced to dick, not just rural people. Rural people are just not gonna get anything delivered to them because it's not gonna be feasible, right? You have a market. It's not gonna be feasible for them to. They're gonna have to pay unbelievable amounts of money.
Resources are not gonna be, inefficiently used or whatever. I agree that's based, but I don't know how much general package pricing would go up because of getting rid of the USPS, right? Like, basically you'd have to justify to me there being like such a high positive externality from subsidizing package delivery that it's okay to.
Look, do I have to justify it for you, or can I just tell you that we live in this collective, and the majority of people, both rural and urban,
I would
agree
like
that.
No, I would like the justification for why there's such a positive externality from from making the cost of delivery lower. Like,
you think that it's gonna make the cost of delivery lower if we privatize it? Is that what you think?
From subsidizing it with the post office currently, what we do. Like, why is that such a good thing to do?
Okay. So, obviously, this is a universal program. Everybody pays taxes. It goes into taxes. Us paying whatever $1. What?
I think the USPS isn't technically funded by taxes, but yeah.
What is it? It's rurally. It's how's the UPS funded, dude?
By postage stamps and things like that. They get kind of bailed out by.
Well, so the USPS does have like a private system in itself, right? Where it needs to make money. But
it's not profit maximizing, but.
I have to look. I'm gonna Google this shit.
Just look up is
How
USPS
is-
funded by taxpayer
Yeah.
money, and it'll say
No, not taxpayer money. Obviously, it's a collective universal program, is it not? Like
I think I would agree to that. Yeah, sure.
Okay, well that's what I mean.
It's
So
a state-owned. It's a state-owned enterprise, which
state-owned enterprise. You think that that's gonna be better? That's gonna be worse than having private corporations charging people whatever the. I mean, we have USPS now. I'm sorry, UPS now, Amazon now. Dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we need to make it artificially cheaper. Like, I don't know. Like, what's the?
What do you mean?
Like, why wouldn't you apply this argument to like literally everything? Why do we have private?
I agree.
Private. Well, I don't think you want like a state-owned enterprise for like the pizza market. Like, why are we letting Domino's?
No. There are some markets that it would be better because I do believe in competition. There'd be some markets that would be better that there is that there is competition. But this is something that is much more essential. Everybody needs fucking delivery. Back then, especially, right? People used to get mail system, but now even the same shit because materially you have to get.
I mean, everyone
mail given to you
needs food, but I still think it's best supplied on the market.
Okay, everybody does need food. You're right, and it's delivered. Oh my god, dude, you're fucking cherry picking like a motherfucker. Okay, do you believe that there are some things that are essential in our life that should not be market based?
Probably. I mean,
which one is it?
I like using market mechanisms, like, whenever possible. But I think like utilities are generally speaking fine to nationalize.
And you don't think delivery of goods is a utility?
No, I don't think that fits the definition.
Why not, dude? I mean, everybody
it's not a natural. The reason why
real...
utilities are fine to nationalize sometimes is because they're a natural monopoly where there are high barriers to entry, and it's just more efficient to have one firm. There's very high fixed cost. It's just more efficient to have one firm supplying these things than it is to have.
But you're gonna get that essentially when you have. I'm going by America's system where these markets get oligopolized. Eventually.
I don't know if I agree with you on that, but I think as long as barriers to entry are low, like most of that stuff is fine. And I don't think I think I would also just say like there's probably a lot less oligopoly than you think there is, but
well, let's go with the delivery market. Who are the only people that deliver? FedEx, Amazon.
I think, but the reason why oligopoly is bad is because of like the potential for like coordination between firms and everything. And is there
what they do.
Even with like 5 firms, it is pretty hard to actually do that type of coordination when it's in each individual firm's interest to break the oligopoly.
It's not. They don't even have to. They do, but they don't have to coordinate with each other. If one firm that, I don't know whichever one, or 1 or 2 firms, right? Or 3 firms out of the 5 coordinate, just raise their prices to a certain level. The other 2 must do it because they have a fiduciary fucking responsibility, which will then in turn raise prices.
Well, the fact that I don't think that a lot of those firms don't have that type of price setting power in the way you think they do. I don't like. I just don't believe.
What do you
that.
mean?
I mean,
what? Non-fun. You don't.
If firms
usually market based, where like it's kind of stupid for you. Some corporations do not raise their profits, but that's like the outliers, like Costco, right? Most corporations have to raise their prices. The CEO must raise his fucking price because he doesn't meet a fucking quarterly quota of profit, he will be fucking fired.
What I mean is that when I say firms don't have price setting power, I mean the firms aren't the one that are The firms can't arbitrarily choose to charge whatever they want. They can't just choose to raise their prices and have people pay that, because there's obviously the competition within markets, which I understand you might think there's less, and consumers are just not willing to demand products at certain prices.
Well, consumers, the ones that are getting fucked are consumers, dude. They don't have a fucking word in this shit. If you have 5 firms, man, 5 firms is way too fucking small. I
don't think that's always the case, but
I'm gonna shit myself, dude. I'm gonna shit myself in the. Okay, non-fun. Can we go back to Zoran?
Yeah, we can in a second, but like, you know, what I'll say, I just want to say, like, when firms charge above marginal cost, other firms will enter the market to try to compete with them, like that, like. So
dude,
as long as
that is extremely rare. That, like, what you're saying essentially saying is
obviously not.
People are just gonna do startups. People are just gonna do startups and compete with fucking Walmart, dude. That does not happen.
If Walmart,
you get bought
if
out.
Walmart were charging above marginal cost, significantly above marginal cost, if they were making more than zero economic profit, then other firms will enter the market to compete with them. Yes. Accounting for obviously it's contingent upon barriers.
So it better be a massive, like, some other motherfucking billionaire who creates this, says, oh, look at that market's vulnerable, I'm gonna go in there and charge less, right? It better be that, because if it isn't that, it ain't gonna be a fucking startup, dude. Because you're gonna get bought out. You're gonna get surrounded. One of the things that Walmart used to do is just go into these small towns, mom and pop shops, and artificially lower their prices and knock out everybody out.
Ooh, so based. Oh, so based. Yes.
Dude.
What do you mean by artificially lower their prices? I think Walmart can charge less than other stores for, you know, valid reasons. Like there's economies of scale because they can make agreements with countries to have with other companies.
I mean, you're right about that, but who's gonna get fucked? The mom and pops get fucked.
Yeah, but who benefits?
You can say that the consumer, the consumer, the consumer is gonna be able to consume less while you lose your fucking house. You can't pay your car insurance. You can't pay your fucking medical bills. You can't pay. I mean, I think you prioritize neoliberal.
I prioritize aggregate welfare. And I think aggregate welfare is increased when Walmart outcompetes other firms in the market.
Okay, can we go back to Zoran, dude?
Sure, man.
What was the other Zoran? Where were we? Where Zoran was talking? We were talking about Zoran. I think we were on the third one.
Taxes. We were talking about corporate taxes, and then
corporate taxes. What was the other one? $30 minimum wage. You don't like $30 minimum wage?
I think that
in a big city like New York. Remember, this is a big city.
Yeah, but $30 is still a decent amount. That's still double what the current minimum wage is.
It's $15. I think it's a little more, right? New York City.
I think New York City is a $15 minimum wage. I could be wrong.
I think it's state-run $15 minimum wage, but I think. Let me see.
It's $16.50 per hour in New York.
Yeah. It's a little more. Yeah. So it would be almost double. Why is that bad?
I would imagine there'd be some disemployment effects.
You think that? Okay, I'm just gonna put this out there. This is the one study that I always bring up. 3 people won a Nobel Prize for this shit.
Yeah, I know. I'm
raising the minimum wage.
Yep.
Raising the minimum wage does not lead to negative. It leads to some negative effects, but the positive effects of raising the minimum wage highly outnumber the small negative effects. And the 3 people who made this study won a Nobel Prize. You're saying that?
Can you even name the 3 people?
Let me do it. I'll get it.
It's Card Crew. I know. You're citing Card Crew.
Okay, well, you're gonna say that it's not a real study.
No, I think Card Kruger is a decently valid study. I mean, there are critiques of Card Kruger, but like there's a decent amount of evidence of minimum wage that finds there aren't that big disemployment effects when you do like relatively small increases in minimum wage. But I'd have to do I'd have to do the math on like how big of an increase this minimum wage is relative to other minimum wage increases, and then that probably, there are plenty of studies you can find that do find disemployment effects when there are big jumps in the minimum wage.
Cato.
No.
Cato Institute.
There's a lot of studies in the minimum wage, but yeah, Cato doesn't really do studies. They do like research reviews, but they don't really do their own studies.
I'm gonna piss in your fucking face, dude.
Okay.
Okay, then fuck it. No more studies. Just surface level. You think that that's gonna have an unemployment effect? You think that people are not gonna be able to pay corporate companies, businesses? This is New York,
when you
dude.
raise
This is
the price of
the majority
something,
of businesses.
I think when you raise the price of something, less of it is demanded. Yes, I think that is true.
And people are not gonna be able to hire other people.
I think when you raise the price of labor, firms will demand less labor. I think that is trivially true. But yeah.
Is that the only negative effect from minimum wage?
I mean, it's the primary one. I mean, I'm sure you can think of.
Say you double, right? You're bringing up a valid point. Say you double the wages of these people, right? And Zoran wants to also get the affordability level, affordability issue also worked, right? But I'm not even going to bring that up. You double the wages of most workers in New York. Wouldn't that people tend to live in households like with families and shit?
A lot of them would probably be their hours would be reduced, or they would be fired, or firms would create less jobs in the future.
See,
right?
Okay, you're right. You're actually right about that, dude. You're actually right about that. That corporations, that the hierarchies of the corporate, like the business, could just do whatever the fuck it wants to mitigate what you're trying to do. Right? They could just give you less hours, or move to like gig work and shit like that.
Well,
or
you're acting like it's some like irrational, evil decision of firms to demand less labor when the price of labor goes up. Well, that's absolutely not. That's true. Literally, well, I don't want to say literally every
I don't
market.
have to argue it, because per capita, if you actually look at that study, it's bullshit. But I'm pretty sure some of them do.
What do you mean per
some
capita?
of them do.
What?
Well, I'm not per capita, but on average. I'm pretty sure that I'm giving you that. I'm pretty sure that some of them do that shit, right? They have less workers. They find a way around it, right? But you think that's morally good that these motherfuckers could just do that instead of being paid? They obviously make a lot of profit.
Well, I think there are obviously people who aren't worth $30 an hour, right? So they're obviously going to be fired. I don't think it's irrational to fire someone who you have to pay more than they're worth. I think that's totally valid. And I think, yeah, like I want resources to be used efficiently. And I think firms are, in a position to evaluate, based on how much we have to pay labor. Do we want to use labor, or do we want to use
according to
machines?
them, dude? No, wait. According to them,
but they're profit maximizing, right? So they want to use the most efficient, allocation of resources. That's what I would say. Like they.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god. What does Walmart do that, dude?
Is Walmart profit maximizing? Yeah.
Well, you think that okay? So when they knock out the mom and pop shops that actually pay people better standards of living, and then their workers are some of the poorest fucking workers in America. They rely on government programs like Medicare, Medicaid, which they're about to cut.
So we just have to think of
to survive.
The aggregate benefits, right? So I agree. Like it, as in any case, like there are going to be winners and losers. Or I shouldn't say any case. There are probably ways to make literally everyone better off and everything. But like there are winners and losers in that example. But the overall impact is positive. So. Consumers have lower prices and greater variety. For Walmart,
you fuck over the lower class people that rely on.
I don't think the lower class on the whole is fucked over. I think the lower class is getting cheaper goods from Walmart, and I think the resources previously used for the
now, by the way, because once they knock out all, this is like an Amazon trick, Walmart trick. Once they knock out the competition, become an oligopoly, they raise their prices.
I mean, we went over this earlier. One, I just don't think I just think
happens,
I just
dude.
think there's a lot less oligopoly and more competition in markets in the U.S. than you think there is, and I think that empirics probably support my view better. But two, again, as long as barriers to entry are low, like oligopolies can still produce efficient outcomes. And also, the number of firms is not the only thing that matters for competition. There are other things that matter. But
what matters for competition?
I'll get back to you on that. But
okay. I think you had another one. Oh, universal childcare. Universal childcare. What do you think about that?
I think it could be good. I don't have a super strong opinion on that one. I think depending on I don't know what the exact policy is. Like, is it cash transfers for childcare, or is it like government-owned daycares, or like what is it exactly?
I think he said it would be. I think he said it would be city government-owned daycares.
Intuitively, it feels like a cash transfer for childcare would be more efficient, but I don't know.
You always go with the neoliberal option, dude. Like, no, because if you rely so public-private partnership, it's gonna fucking kill me, man. Okay, if you rely on a private corporation, they realize that these people are gonna get money from the city, so that they then give it to the private corporation, right? You don't think they're gonna jack up their prices? You don't think that's gonna happen,
no, because
dude?
there'd be competition. What do you mean? I'm just saying you give basically people in New York City with children, you give them like a voucher or literally just cash and say this is for childcare, and they buy childcare in the private market.
Wouldn't it be better to just have city-run, no profit motive, city-run childcare? Why would that be bad?
I'm skeptical of that would be efficient. I think there's empirical evidence that finds that state-owned enterprises are oftentimes less efficient than private markets, and when they're not profit maximizing, they don't have as strong of an incentive to utilize resources efficiently. I think there are like principal agent problems. I think that there are there's a term I'm looking for, principal agent problems, and there's another problem. Fuck, I should remember. I'm tired. God damn it. But yeah.
Hi, Gumball. What's up, man? I'm not Gumball. Nikki's on Go Harasser. When I'm done with this conversation, dude.
What do you want to harass Nikki about?
Nikki wants me to go to Siberia, dude, to meet her.
Paste.
Wait. Look,
Tell her
all
that
I
I'll
really
go
give a fuck about.
if she doesn't, okay, but or if PPG doesn't.
PPG. Have you seen Ophelia, dude?
Yeah.
I think she got married. I have not seen
What?
Ophelia in a long ass time, dude.
What?
I think she did get married. Somebody told me.
Unbelievable.
I thought
Why
she was
didn't
gonna
she
come
consult
to
her Discord with
or
politics
anybody.
friends before getting married. I can't believe she
I
would do
agree.
that.
Wait, do you think if she gets married, she's gonna tell Discord?
No,
I think that's the last
I'm being
place we
ironic.
were.
I'm being ironic.
Oh. Yeah, I get it.
yeah. Thanks, Sample. Tragedy to Commons. Yeah, I do think there is a yeah.
What is your main problem with Zorhan Mandani, dude? You think he's got cringe? Obviously, you think he's got a cringe.
I think most of his
solutions.
economic policy is cringe. Yeah, I think that's my biggest issue.
Okay, but let's go with
Well, actually,
now I'm
I
gonna go
could-
with something that I do know.
I do think
Politically.
I don't
okay,
know
I'm
if I would
sorry,
say this is my biggest issue. I think the policy might be worse. I do think he just has a lot of cringe rhetoric on like the Israel-Palestine stuff. Like like you can find like old tweets of him, like saying like, "Oh, what's this
Wait,
really a
Knockback, you still think that
terrorist
it's not a
attack
genocide?
because of a."
Do you think, you
So
still
even if
think that it's not a genocide?
even if it was a genocide, there's no need for Zorhan to defend the phrase "globalizing Intifada" and compare it to the Warsaw Ghetto. And I don't think there's
Wait. It was the word Intifada just means resistance, right? And
I understand, but it's obviously
the
not.
Warsaw Ghetto was
like
resistance.
the way it's interpreted and everything. Like I think it's clearly. I think clearly Intifada has connotations beyond resistance. I think Intifada has like
Well,
clearly.
you know, it's
violent.
pretty fucked to say that because when there's been an apartheid for 70 years and the word means resistance, the Zionist propaganda has made this word, which just means resistance.
I don't know if it's Zionist propaganda.
Who is
Not like
this?
this. Obviously.
Who is this? Who is this? Turbo, stop.
Turbo.
Turbo, can you be a normal person? You could talk. Just be a normal person, Turbo. And Turbo, we can hear the stream. Turbo, we can hear the stream.
Sorry, fuck, whoops. Said, get rid of this cunt. Okay, go ahead.
No, shut up. Okay. So wait, not fun. Do you still think that it's not a genocide?
I don't think it's a genocide, but I still think it's what's going on.
Let's go. I'm gonna go with the easy points, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a Haaretz report that just came out that the IDF had.
I saw that. I don't think that makes it a genocide. I don't like.
You don't think there's intent to just kill people that are starving
there
with very little food?
There can obviously be war crimes without it being a genocide. I'm up. I think
at what point are you gonna switch from war crimes to genocide, dude? This is systemic. This is the IDF soldiers getting direct orders. No, wait.
Do you think
because Destiny's point?
Do you think there was a
hold on?
genocide
Destiny's
in
point.
Vietnam.
Hold on. Destiny's point was that this was not orders down to the IDF to commit genocide. That was his point. This is orders down to not let food in, so then hence people are starving, and then when you let food in, open fire on the people. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer.
I haven't read the. First of all, I don't know why we're bringing up Destiny. Okay, but number one.
No. But I'm saying because you guys sound alike, dude. You and Destiny sound like a same motherfucker.
True. That's so true.
But I mean, I think we're beyond the point, dude. I think we're at the genocide point.
I mean, I don't find too much use in debating it, but because I still think
they both suck dick too.
A ceasefire.
Triple, shut up.
But
they both suck dick as well.
True.
What?
Me and Destiny both suck dick.
Wait, you think there's a ceasefire coming? That's what you said?
No, I said I think there should be a ceasefire by now, and I think Israel should have, not broken the ceasefire that they had in January. But
they not only that, they've killed political leaders, the political people that don't pick up a gun. Right, Hamas political leaders.
Are you?
What do you call it? No. Negotiators. Like they literally assassinated one in Iran. They don't want peace.
Did they?
Israel.
Well, it was. I mean, one. I don't know. I don't know for sure if I disagree with that, but there are still cases where political leaders can be targeted because they are directly participating in hostilities. But.
All right, we could talk about something else. You got anything else non-fun?
I don't think so. I just think. What was the other?
Well, look. Wait, would you? So you're? Oh, wait. You did say that you would not vote. You would not support Eric Adams over.
I would.
Soran, right?
No.
Say some neoliberal chops in, like Richie Torres. People are saying that supposedly Richie Torres, because he knows that he's cooked, he's gonna lose his election. The outcome of the election proves that he's gonna lose his election. They say that they're gonna $100 million campaign is gonna get behind Richie Torres, and he's gonna try to beat Zoran. Will you support Richie Torres?
I don't know enough about him, but if he's a base neoliberal, probably.
He is a neoliberal. You would love Richie Torres, dude.
Based, probably then.
You would support him over Zoran? You would,
unless there's like some weird scandal that I don't know about him. But
Zoran, okay, non-fun. New York has had neoliberal dominance. New York and California have had neoliberal dominance forever. I don't politically. We're talking politically. I don't understand why you think that they're gonna bring. You're talking about abundance and public housing. What makes you think that's gonna happen? You don't think they're using that for rhetoric?
I don't particularly think that like abundance is gonna happen. I don't think abundance is a very popular agenda or whatever, and that's why like abundance is largely about criticizing like Democrats, right? Like it's largely about like blue states are governed super poorly, but like I don't even think like I don't know. One, like to the extent California has pursued neoliberal policies or whatever, like I think the outcomes have been good, and I think we probably have different pictures about like how well the average worker
That's news to
so,
me,
like,
man. We can't afford a fucking house here.
Well, I think that's because of government regulation.
Neoliberal policies? No, dude.
I think it's because
the only reason why non-phone is not a Republican is because he wears a dress. That's the only reason why. He's a Republican. That's why. He's a Republican. He is a Republican. What has he said that has been at all left of center?
I'm not against social housing. There's that.
You're not against it. You're not really for it, though.
I don't have super strong opinions, but I'm not particularly against it. Most Republicans are actively against social housing. I like the idea of universal childcare. That seems good to me. I'm open to the idea of cash transfers being more efficient, but I like somehow paying for children, right? I think we should have a welfare state that takes care of children. In this conversation, I think those are the two most left-leaning things.
Okay, those are left. Those are left a bit. Yeah, those are left. They're not really strong. I mean, those are Republicans would agree with those. I mean, they wouldn't really. Those are.
I can't say Pacific.
Those aren't really. Those aren't up in the front kind of. Issues,
I mean, I'm not like a super progressive leftist dude. So. I'm obviously not going to have super progressive leftist policy.
Which is true. It's true. Has I guess the Democratic Party actually has a lot of space for that. So it's not like that. I keep forgetting. I mean, yeah, you're right. There's lots of people that think like you in the Democratic Party. So what does that say? That says it's a centrist party, anyways, right? So you're right. There's like 5 progressives.
Centrist is a bit far, but all right.
Well, okay, maybe, but I mean, I think the Democratic Party on the scale of the. Like compared to most of the world, is a right wing party, but within America, it's the left party. It's definitely right. It's definitely right wing. Like compared to Europe, it's definitely right wing compared to Canada, for sure.
I don't know about Canada compared to Europe. I don't I don't necessarily think so.
Oh well, I mean, the Nordic countries and stuff, like all those countries. I mean, yeah, definitely not Italy. But I mean, there's a few countries.
I don't what are like the super left wing in Europe want to do that like the Democrats don't want to do. Like I don't know
well, there's the ones in the Nordic countries. I mean, they're all about they're too socialist for you. Trust me, they're socialists. I mean, they're socialists sort of light. They're like they're just again. They're like that until the immigrants start coming and stuff like that. Then they're all like, no. So it's like it's kind of like.
So I think on social issues, like immigration and like trans rights, the Democrats are to the left of a lot of left wing European parties on that. Like, we do see a decent amount of anti-immigration on the left in like Sweden even. I'm pretty sure. Not that I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak with too much confidence because I'm
they all are. They're all anti-immigration. They're all anti-immigration. They're all social.
I don't think the Democrats are super anti-immigration, and there are cases like universal health care. Obviously, every country in Europe has universal health care, and we don't. But like the Democrats are the ones for universal health care, right? Like there's a lot of Democrats for universal health care.
You'll see them all on a sponsor list, but you won't actually see them try to do it. It's like they're just doing it for show. I don't think any of them would actually seriously endorse it.
You don't think if there's an option to like a vote tomorrow for a public option that the majority of Democrats, probably vast majority of Democrats,
I think the majority of people, the people that did vote for it would be majority Democrats, but I don't think very many of them would do it. I think that maybe like 10 of them would vote for it. I don't
think 10 would. Yeah. Not for like Bernie's plan or anything, because Bernie's plan was more left wing than most of Europe's socialized healthcare programs, by the way.
But just getting a universal healthcare at all, just any kind of single payer, even whatever, like whatever you could get. I still don't think that they're gonna.
What's up, Nikki? How you doing?
Oh my god.
We have a celebrity in the house.
Damn.
Oh, she left. What the? Oh, she's back.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, we talked about the single payer and the universal health care last time. PPG doesn't like it. He hates it. He likes the American system.
Thank you, Turbo. Thank you for telling me what I like.
You know, you always tell people I'm a Trump supporter, so you know, not that
You want to know how I met? It's not fine. You want to know how I met you?
Yeah, I remember when you met him.
Like I found out about you?
First time you ever met him, you said about the guy that you had sex with that girl with, and then you guys touched dicks, and he was kind of
No. But that day, Nikki came to my stream and she was like, debate non-fun, and I was like, who the fuck is non-fun? and then she gave me the link to the stream, and then that's when I went. You were talking to, obviously you're a much bigger streamer now. You were talking to like 2 people, dude. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
And then you told him how your bag hit that other guy's bag. And he was kind of like, whoa, what the fuck?
It happens, dude. It's going to happen to everybody. It's going to happen to non-fun, definitely, dude.
I don't know how soon I'll be engaging in a threesome with 2 guys and 1 girl, but all right.
With the girl, what the fuck?
It's going to happen, dude. Listen to me. You're young. You're 18, dude. It's going to happen.
I'm 19, thank you, but I appreciate you having faith in me.
It's gonna happen. It'll happen eventually. Okay. Hold on, I got one more question for you.
Sure.
You can leave whatever you want, dude. It's cool. You think that Donald Trump has done anything good?
I'm sure if I thought long enough, I could think of one. This term, no. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I could think of one, but I am so anti-Trump that I'm not gonna say it. It's got to do with the steel. Did you see that shit?
No.
With that company, that steel company with the union.
Oh. The Nippon Steel, whatever. Didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not gonna agree with me, but that was one of the most left-wing shits I have ever seen anybody do, ever. I mean, any president.
What did he do?
Same here, Twisted. Same here.
Was it he just blocked? I thought he like blocked the purchase of it or whatever.
No. I'm gonna look it up. I'll send it to you, dude. You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it, but I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god.
Exactly.
No, he might be doing it for political reasons. I don't know why the fuck he did it, but he did it, dude.
Nader's right.
What did Nader say?
Oh,
I have 3-way with 2 dudes and a chick. Not gonna happen. Okay, Nader is a prune. That's prune behavior, dude.
Prune?
Why are you listening to a prune?
He's not
prune. That's not, having sex with a girl with your buddy is not gay, dude.
And then touching dicks together?
She wanted that. She wanted to experience that, dude.
She wanted me to be gay.
What can I do?
She wanted me to be gay.
Prude. Not fun. I saw that you went on Twitter. I went on Instagram. I was like, "Who's this gay ass motherfucker?" And you were paddling her. I don't know what the fuck. And there was like two young white girls next to you. What are you doing, non-fun?
Oh, that's a family camp I go to every year with my family, and those are my friends there.
Oh, that's your family? Oh, I'm sorry.
Shout out the Instagram, by the way, exclamation point Instagram and chat for my chat if you want to follow me on Instagram and see what he's talking about.
Follow non-fun on Instagram. I don't have shit on my Instagram, dude, aside from a couple pictures.
I saw.
Thank you for the like, dude. You're the only one who gave me a like.
It was like you and another guy docking. That's why. The fuck.
Let's go.
Thank you, Turbo. Thank you for that.
Well, it was you at a protest, right? Wasn't it a No Kings protest that you?
It was here No Kings mixed with anti-ICE. So sure, yeah. I don't know if you've seen like the videos. I also have a Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. ICE was in a hotel, an embassy. They're called embassy here, and we blocked them. Like we just didn't let them come out.
Wow, insurrectionist, unbelievable.
Straight up, dude. Did you go to that? Did you go to any protest? Both of you guys?
No, I was actually at that summer camp when most of the protests were happening.
When it popped off?
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
sure I
You
will
better
go to
be- you
one
better be-
someday. But
you better
also,
be like a counselor. You're not like a attendee, are you? You're a counselor at the summer camp, right?
no, it's a family camp. Like it's a
Oh, I see. I know
so
what you mean.
my whole family goes. Like
I get
even-
it. No, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I clued in.
Yeah.
Just sounds funny when you say like summer camp.
Yeah, it is
sounds
funny
like
when I shouldn't say summer camp, but it's yeah.
Listen, dude. Listen. The No Kings protest was perfect for you, dude. I mean, for neoliberals, it was
Yeah.
for liberals in total was like the perfect protest. You missed it. It was pretty lived up.
I will go to a
I was thinking
protest,
about
but there aren't
I was
many.
thinking about going down to Seattle. You know, Seattle looks good. Looks like fun down there.
There aren't that many protests near me, just because I live in a relatively rural part of
North
North
Carolina.
Carolina. So we're like, North Carolina's already like a purple state, and then where I live, it's majority red. So like only
Have you seen Seattle?
only like the big protests really get like protests that actually go on here. But
Have you seen Seattle?
have I seen Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle right now.
I've never seen Seattle.
No, have you seen Seattle? Like the protests going on right now in Seattle?
I haven't.
What's going on?
They're chaotic. They're just chaos. They're fucking mental. And then the police chief said that he was going to, if Trump sent the National Guard, he's like going to get. He would probably end up in prison himself. Like the chief of police, he's like, I'll probably end up.
Oh,
in
he's saying
prison.
he's gonna like kill. He's gonna shoot.
He's going to stop the
feds?
fucking. Yeah, he's going to stop the fucking National Guard. Yeah, and then everybody's just going mental. You should see the fucking.
That's based. That's based.
Seattle's nuts. Seattle's always fucking nuts.
There's a couple, yeah. In remember Black Lives Matter, Seattle. All the other protests died down. Seattle was still like beating the shit out of cops and shit. Yeah, Seattle goes crazy, dude.
They're on a standoff.
I've seen
They
Seattle.
stood off half the
Yeah.
city.
There's a lot of Antifa in Seattle, dude.
Yeah, lots. I was thinking about going down there for fucking when it was all wild up there, and they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let a bunch of people cross the border. They're like, turn around. We turn around. They were like, what are you going down for?
Remember, they took
shopping?
over they took over City Hall, right? Remember that shit?
Yeah.
They took over City Hall, dude. Like completely took over City Hall.
Yeah,
The cops didn't even stand a chance. They just left.
Dude, I was driving down in Seattle, and I was turning a corner, and we were going kind of fast, and this guy fucking shot at us from shot like 2 shots at us from the side of the road.
All right, I got places to be. I gotta stream at a normal time so I can actually stream longer, but it's so stupid. Still fucked. So fucked. Follow if you guys aren't, because I'm awesome, and you should follow me because I love streaming. Appreciate everyone watching me stream. It's very cool. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Anyone redirect ad? I kind of doubt anyone is streaming. Yeah. I don't even think I can host anyone on Kick or host people you can get because I don't have enough viewers. But yeah, I appreciate you all watching. Love streaming. Love the guys watch me stream. I will stream again tomorrow, I guess. Yeah. Well, technically, no, probably tomorrow. It is probably tomorrow, not technically later today, because I'm probably gonna get up at 8 p.m. and then start streaming at fucking 12 a.m. So, yeah, follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel, do all that jazz. Listen, I really, really appreciate the support. I don't think I need to ask him sometime why mergers and acquisitions frequently have positive welfare gains and antitrust often doesn't. Seems to violate his worldview. I'm just be curious for your source in that. Like I think it's entirely possible, but if you have a study that shows that, that'd be based. But he doesn't change his mind based on studies or papers or anything. But like you saw the way he was talking in that conversation, right? But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Really appreciate it. Yeah, send it in Discord. See you guys. Love you guys.